Oh yeah. Come on and praise His name. Come on and praise His name. Oh yeah. How are you doing on this special day? Keeping your motive in a special way. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat. We are keeping Yahuwah lost in our enemy's land to revolt the curse. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. He promised that He would gather us from the land of the enemies called Babylon. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. We are looking forward to the gathering of the saints of Yah to the new Jerusalem. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. We will reign with Him for 1,000 years in that great old kingdom of Yah for the whole world to see. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shemaiah Yisrael. Yahuwah is one. Let's celebrate Him now. For the battle is already won. Oh, yes it is. Oh, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom.
Ay,
out of the land of Mizraim. The same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai. For they were departed from Rephidim, and were come to the desert of Sinai, and had pitched in the wilderness, and there Yasharel camped before the mountain. And Shemaiah went up unto Elohim, and Yah called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shalt thou say to the house of Yaakov, and tell the children of Yasharel, You have seen what I did unto the Mizraimites, and how I bore you with eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Now therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then you shall be a peculiar treasure unto me, above all people, for all the earth is mine. You shall be unto me a kingdom of priests, and a Kodesh nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Yasharel.
That lion is purring this morning. He's purring this morning. Let's see if I can change something real quick. Okay. Let's take the monitor out. And okay. Yeah, we are. We're live. Live. Live and in color. Shabbat Shalom, Baruch Shabbat, and Merry Christmas. I woke up this morning and they threw a video at me this morning about Christmas. And this guy I'm subscribed to, he's defending it. So, it's amazing how Israelites are changing now, changing their tune. Hey, good to see you too. Well, I can't see you, but yeah, I mean, week was a full week. Week was a full week for me. But I'm in good spirits, and I got a new revelation this week. Let me just open up a prayer and then I'll talk about it. Father, we thank and praise for this blessed Shabbat you allow us to see. Give you praise and honor for us to come together during this Shabbat to fellowship and to hear what you would have to say to us, that you would give us to speak to the people that you've called out of the world. The true church, those of us who know that we've been called to be an example as priesthood to the nations. As we endeavor to share today, is our prayer and our desire that you give us articulation of speech, and that you would help us to bring education and clarity, not attack anyone's character, but to basically deal with the subject matters and to enlighten people's eyes of comprehension as we share today. We give you praise and honor in Yahshua Mashiach. We say hallelujah.
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 Toda Yah.
Toda Yah.
Amen. Sound check. Sound check, everyone. Yeah. I mean, it's a thing. I tend not to get too much into proving that Christmas is pagan at this juncture. If you go to celebrate Christmas, you go celebrate Christmas whether you believe it's pagan or not. You're gonna justify it, because if you want to do it, you're gonna do it. And in my later years, I'm starting to learn that the Most High has made us free moral agents, right? So nobody can make you serve Yah. Nobody can make you do right, right? Um, the thing is that uh, the world wants to be in their element, and Christmas is that element. Makes you feel this is the time of giving, and this is the time of sharing, and this is the time to just show love. And I was telling somebody this week, I said, people don't speak to people all year long. Christmas time come, they want to invite you over to dinner. They got a present for you, right? If you haven't, they're on your Facebook page. Merry Christmas. They haven't spoke to you in 6 months. But they all up in your, and they, especially when they know that you're an Israelite, you don't celebrate Christmas. That first thing they're going to post, they're going to tell you anyway. They'll send you a private message. Merry Christmas. It's amazing. And then Christmas is on automatic. You go to the store because the merchants make them say that. Merry Christmas. I saw a sister yesterday. She's going into the Walgreens. She had her little Santa Claus on top of her head. 2 Santa Claus antlers, I guess, with Santa Claus on the top. This was an unconscious Hebrew Israelite, mind you. I thought that was so funny, right? I was like, look at this sister walking up in here. We do have the song. My issue got to sing a track for us, but the song is it's a Christmas special. So when you hear the music, you'll be like, oh, okay. But when you listen to the lyrics, you're like, wow, what does he say? All right, so we're gonna do a Christmas. We're gonna do. We've been saying for years that we're gonna do a Christmas special, so it's in the making. So I actually got the track. I just got to get Bronte to sing her little vocal track, and then I'm gonna upload it to my music channel, and next Shabbat we'll play it. All right, now with that said, let's do our greetings right quick, and then we're gonna get into the lesson. Okay, so let's see. All right. So my brother Light, good to see you, my brother. Once again, man, told Rabbi for the encouragement video last Shabbat. And yes, indeed. My brother Andre, good to see you, my brother, once again. And Lion Pride is back. Where were you at last week? I don't think I seen you last week. Lion Pride is back. And let's see. A light to the Gentiles. Okay. Let's see. Who's king of the earth? King of the is it earth? King of the earth? You were going over Genesis chapter 10. We are going from Noah to Abraham. So indirectly, but not directly. Genesis. In other words, I think I know what you're saying. We're not going to go over the table of nations in this lesson, no. Someone has been going at me for weeks over Christmas. Yep. So you should be also very well aware of Hosea chapter 1, verse 1, that the Jews are not the Israelis and the Israelites are not the Jews. Interesting. Israelite, these are the sons of Issachar, the sons of Yaakov are called Jacobites. Sound like King wants to do a class. On these posts. Now let's not do that. I'm going to stop that. We're not going to attack people in our. I'm going to mute you if you're going to make. We're not going to attack people. Okay, let them be who they are or who they believe they are. This is not the channel to attack. Okay. Now you can go over on We Woke Now. I think he does that. He does a good job of that in his subliminal way of attacking the imposters. This is not an attack imposter channel. Okay. So let them be who they say they are, the fraudulent. So we're not going to deal with none of that. Thank you for joining our live stream. Okay. Let's just mute him real quick because I'm not going to tolerate.
Like the brother last week that was trying to teach a whole
I'm not going to tolerate this. Somebody put him in. Somebody put King of the Heart in timeout. I'm trying to see how to do it from here. Let's see. I think I got it. I got it. Okay. Matter of fact, I'm just going to block King of the Earth, so you won't be able to post. Okay, you need to start your own channel. So you're done. A code Catherine, good to see you. Oh, G, okay, that's G man. Bless Shabbat to you in the household. You and the code Catherine, good to see you, my brother. King of the Heart. Okay, we done with King of the Heart. Okay. Hey, Akoti, Kahanaya, Maury Irvin. Man, y'all got them freeze on up there in Chicago now. Called Maury Irvin the other day. I said, man, we got -1 degrees. Ronte coming. She said she likes some winter. She'd be out there 5 minutes out there on that corner. She'd be ready to come back. Okay. All right. We're not dealing with King of the Heart. He's going. So, okay. Yeah, it was strange, man. That was some strange stuff there. Like the Gentile. Moray Josiah. Good to see you. Yeah, the Christmas heat round, right? Yeah. I just got the one track so far, so we're working on it. At some point, we'll have a series of them, but right now I got one just about done. Right, just Bronte got to sing her vocal track, and it's the song "Have Yourself." It's the song "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas," but we taking the words and we interpreted the words. Okay, all right. Oh, 33. Oh, you got a heat wave now. 33. Man, y'all should put some shorts on and go outside. Hey, Doug, Moray, Josiah. They got 33 degrees weather in Kenosha. Tell them we was in Chicago, man. That's like a heat wave, man. You put your shorts on, go pull your barbecue grill out and start cooking. That's what they used to do when I was in Chicago. 30. I kid you not. They put that grill out on the back porch and start barbecuing out there in the wintertime. I never heard nobody do that until I went to Chicago. I said, y'all do that? Yeah. That's like a cookout day when you get a 30, you get above freezing. Oh, those were the good old days. All right. What you say? We ready? Oh. I think. Oh. All right. Okay. Now, man. So, as we continue in our series, I have to address something that is in line with the lesson we're doing. So what I'm going to share with you is not an attack. And as a matter of fact, the person who we're going to address I've known him down through the years. I mean, we've never met face to face, person to person. I've never been to his tabernacle, but we've talked on the phone. We've dialogued via text, email, I should say, and just simple, general. Like, I had one time a flourishing website, and we had links on the website, and I spoke with him via email if I could put a link from my website to his website. So what we're going to present today is no means an attack on the Moray. As a matter of fact, I refer people to the Moray's Knesset with this walk. People call me on the phone, hey, where you at? I'm in North Carolina. Go down there to see Moray Ariyat. That's how I roll, right? So what we're going to deal with, generally speaking, we see eye to eye on a lot, but there comes times when there are specific subjects that we totally disagree on, right? And I don't get caught up into the midrash and all of that, the Jewish traditions and commentaries, theology, stuff like that. That's where we part ways, because I came out of that theological circle, and I see a lot of holes in the theology and the things that they present as facts or truth, right? So I'm not going to deal with the part of the video where he said that Jesus was a transliteration of Yahshua. I'm going to leave that to Moray Josiah. He did a video on it already, so I'm pretty sure he's probably touching on it again. I'll believe that part alone, because that's not in conjunction with the series we're doing. Now, if I was doing a series on the name, I'd open it wide open, but I'm not. We're on the series of the called out ones, which is the priesthood. So we're going to deal with that, because he made a statement that is wrong. And I don't know what I said. Oh, Captain said they got 78 degrees weather there. We wrote it in now. What's the weather like here this morning? About 40, 45. Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and we're going to roll the tape. And then we're going to go ahead and get into our lesson. So this is going to actually open up. So just to kind of give you a
Can you click that off?
what?
You hit the little X.
Is bothering you? You can't. You have to upgrade to do that.
Oh, okay.
Just to give you a context, right? Arya Ben Nasi from NCCI Charlotte Tabernacle Elohim has the praise team. We all listen to them. We love them. We enjoy the music they play. They kind of start most of our mornings. Play their praise and worship team. You know, they sing. And it's a wonderful experience, right? So once again, I'm not attacking his ministry at all. I'm attacking, challenging the statement or the teaching that he says in the video, right? We're going to deal with that, right? Okay. Now, with that said, let's roll the tape. Roll the tape. Let's see. Hold on. I got to get my link here first. All right. And let's go in here. And right here, let's roll the tape.
Let's take a little ride over here to 1 Peter chapter 2. And let's pick it up at verse 4. Let's see. First Peter chapter 2, verse 4. To whom coming as unto a living stone, Yeshua, a living stone, disallowed indeed of men, but chosen of Elohim, and very precious Talking about Yeshua. Is that okay? We good with that? A living stone. You also are living stones, sons of Israel. Yeshua has to build a house.
Now, he's going to say something in a minute. It's going to contradict a statement he's going to make. So he's actually reading First Peter. I'll address it in a minute, but he's actually reading First Peter 2. Let's just let him go ahead and finish out.
He shall build a house for my name. You also, as living stones, are built up a what? A spiritual house. Yeah, y'all can speak. It's okay. A spiritual house. Are y'all with me? Yes. A spiritual house. A holy priesthood. Do we see any apostles called priests? Not one apostle was called a priest. There are no priests. The only priest we have is Yeshua, and he is a priest after the likeness of Melchizedek. Everyone else commissioned in the body of the Mashiach were apostles. They were evangelists. They were teachers. They were overseers, etc. All of this, Elohim commissioned, ordained, bestowed, and endowed with gifts to build up a spiritual house. But for what purpose? To offer up spiritual sacrifices. To offer up spiritual sacrifices. Not to offer up lamb, goat, bull, ram, turtle doves, pigeons, barley, wheat, wine, but to offer up righteousness. Those are your spiritual sacrifices, right? Look at this. To offer up spiritual sacrifices, acceptable to who? Elohim. To Elohim, through whom? Yeshua. Through Yeshua the Anointed, because he is the gatekeeper. No man cometh unto the Father but through me. You want to have access to the Father, you got to come through me. This is what Yeshua says, and we accept this. To offer sacrifices to Elohim, you had to go through the priests. Priests. For mediation, for intercession, for propitiation, for expiation, you had to go through the priests. You couldn't go up to the tabernacle door and say, yes, I'd like to go into the Miknosh, please. I need to, pray before Elohim. Priest said, you done lost your mind. This is what you need to do. Tell me what you need to tell the Lord, right? And we'll address your needs, possibly. But I'm the gatekeeper. Yeshua is the gatekeeper. You can't circumvent that.
Okay, so, what do you think about that? Is it true? I mean, feel free, because it's not about personality. This is not an attack on Arya. We're talking about comprehending our purpose, because he just contradicted himself by even just reading the text that says we're priesthood, right? Okay, so how do you read something and say, this is what Christians do? Christians read something and say, it doesn't mean that. If it says we are priesthood, then we are priesthood, whether we offer physical sacrifices or not. That the Most High, the priesthood didn't start with the nation of Israel. That's the purpose of the series. When you say that there is no priesthood, you don't comprehend the precept, right? So I don't think in this particular subject, my good friend, Moreh, can I say Neriyahu again? Arya comprehends the precept of priesthood. He alluded to the Melchizedek order, but I don't think many Israelites are not fully clear that we, sons and daughters of the covenant that are keeping Yah's law, statutes, and commandments, are called to the priesthood regardless of our gender, regardless of our ethnicity, right? Because when That's why we played the video clip at the beginning. Now, he read from Exodus 19 in the earlier part of the video, which I'm not going to play. We're going to read it, okay? So let's go to Exodus 19, and then we'll get into the lesson. We're going to start with Noah, okay? So let's go to Exodus 19. Like I said, please don't get offended. Ariel might be your favorite teacher. That's fine, right? I have no problems with that. I don't have a problem with Ariel at all, okay? I think in his later years, I see a change in his behavior or his attitude toward, maybe he's being under attack by a lot of people, and he throws slurs out at black Hebrew Israelites, not realizing that he's a black Hebrew Israelite himself in the eyes of the apologists. So when I did that once before, when you attack the black Hebrew Israelites, don't attack the black Hebrew Israelite, attack the doctrine that gives us a label of being a black Hebrew Israelite. Don't attack label us black Hebrew Israelite, because somebody is watching and listening to you just might be turned off because they're hearing those brothers have a reason for why the Most High even allow them to have the platform they have, as much as we disagree with the doctrine. Okay? But it is the awakening. I talked to a brother this week. He was awakened to this truth through the One West camp. But then he, as a matter of fact, light to the Gentiles. That's his testimony, right? So we can't attack those that teach that doctrine of hatred and call them black Hebrew, or somebody that teaches a doctrine that disagrees with our teaching and attack them and call them black Hebrew Israelites, right? We have to remain pliable and user friendly. And we're going to, he that wins souls is wise, right? We have to be as wise as a serpent, right? And harmless as a dove. So if we're trying to reach people, we can't attack the people, because some of the One West Camp guys, they sincerely believe that what they teaching is sound. They've been indoctrinated with that, right? So we got to be very careful of how we attack our own people and trying to prove a point, right? So I'm going to say it repetitively because RAI might see this clip. It's not an attack on him. It's knowing who we are. He said it in the video. Knowing who we are and whose we are. A part of knowing who we are is knowing that we've been called out of the world, not just to go to a Knesset to watch a teacher teach us, but to go to a gathering, Knesset, whatever, assembly, to have the moray to teach us who we are. Not from a physical standpoint, but from a spiritual standpoint. And he was right on point with what he read, but I don't know how he turned down the wrong road and missed that. How do you miss that? That was so simple, right? So let's go to Exodus 19. We're going to read it. We're not going to make a lesson out of it. We're just going to read it and amplify it, right? He read Hebrews, and Hebrews is a connecting link to show how the Most High, that's part of the renewed covenant, is the reinstatement of the people who he called out to be the priests to the earth. That's why we're going to come back. Yahshua going to come back, and we're going to rule for 1,000 years in Jerusalem, right? Because of the precept, him calling us to be priests to the sons of Adam, right? Now, let's go to Exodus 19. Okay, we're going to start right at 5, verse 5. We're going to start right at verse 5, okay? Let me get Arya off the page here. Hold on a second. I got to get Arya off the page. Just bear with me a second here while I do this. Okay. There we go. Okay. All right. So Exodus 19, let's blow this up here and let's blow it up here. Exodus 19, verse 5. All right, go ahead.
Now, therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then you shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine.
Right.
And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a Kodesh nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel.
Right.
And Shemaiah came.
That's good. That's all I want. All right. So now, when the Most High, let's go back because, okay, I started 5. Let's go back to kind of give the context, right? So let's start at 1. Okay, you got that point, but the point I wanted to go to 5 and 6 was the Most High said, if you obey my voice and keep my covenant, you shall be a peculiar treasure, right? But who was he talking to? So let's go to verse 1. All right, verse 1.
In the 3rd month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Mitzrayim, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai.
All right, stop for a second. All right. So they left out. Let me add something to that so you can see what we're talking about, right? So go to, I think it's Exodus 12, where he said they left out a mixed multitude. Okay. That's 12 and 38. Okay. 12 and 38. Start at verse 35 and read down to verse 38.
And the children of Israel did according to the word of Shemaiah, and they borrowed of the Mitzrim jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment.
Right.
And Yah gave the people favor in the sight of the Mitzrim, so that they lent unto them such things as they required, and they spoiled Mitzrayim. And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramesses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot, that were men beside children.
Right.
And a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, and even very much cattle.
Stop right there. So now, verse 38, it says the mix. That's the word Arab, right? Or Arab, from 61:48. So I hold to the assertion that the mixed multitude is called an Arabic people. As much as you might hate the terminology, we are Arabs. Because in the Hebrew, I'm not talking about what the modern Arab is. That's where people get twisted, right? The people that have the world calls Arab don't look like us. But the original Arabs, and in my book, when I'm finished, I'm gonna cover that in there, right? The original Arabs were African Edenic. They were darker in hue. I would look like a white man to them. The original Arabs, right? So the Arab was the mixed multitude of people that came out of Egypt. That's why you have some lighter complected Israelites and you have some darker complected Israelites. Every Israelite that you see that's light complected doesn't mean they got European DNA that made them lighter. Okay? So when the 1 West can't try to attack a person because they think that they are white, they are wrong. They are dead wrong, brothers and sisters, right? Okay? You don't know who a person really is unless you go back in their history. They might look a certain way, but it might be black as black, but be a son of Japhet. But you can't look at them on the exterior and see that. So it's not about the color, right? It's about the lineage that they come from. So when we go to Exodus 19, Exodus 12, we just read, we see it said they left out a mixed multitude. They were an Arab people. Mix. So Arab in the ancient days of antiquity is a synonym of today's terminology, half breed, right? Half white, right? Mulatto, right? Give me another word they call a person that's mixed. Okay? Whatever. All right.
Those are the two terms I'm familiar with, mainly.
All right. The French has a name for them too. Okay. So it was a mixed multitude that came out. That's what I wanted you to take out of that, right? Everybody that came out of Egypt was not a physical seed of, watch this now, Jacob, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. See, we was made to believe that everybody that came out of Egypt was a physical DNA descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and that's not the truth. Not the truth. When the Most High gave the covenant to Abraham originally, he didn't exclude those that were not of his seed. He included them. So to exclude a people because that they're not, quote unquote, a DNA descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is false doctrine. That's what Arias should be attacking, not attacking the black Hebrew Israelites. Right? We could have a discussion. We can all have, and I wish that someone that has the ability to formulate a discussion, that somebody that's sound could have a conference and bring all the Maureen together and let's hash it out. All these doctrines that we have differences of opinions about, right? Because it's time for us to get out of this captivity. But if we are in this captivity because we got wrong teachings and we're attacking each other because I left that group because they believe this, and so I left them and now I started my own movement. No, we can't do that. We got to come together and hash it out, right? And then the Most High will be pleased, right? So it was a mixed multitude that came out of Egypt, just like it says in the text. Now, let's do this real quick, right? I want to look at the, oh man, you want to just turn the heat off. Freezing me out. Yeah, you're freezing me out with the fan. Just turn it off. That's okay. It's all right. I'd rather we can always adjust the heat. Okay. But I guess I got my dad's blood. Something about fans around my head, it would just go straight to me. All right. Okay. So it said a mixed multitude. Now, what I want to show you was, let's look at the Brenton's is the Septuagint version, right? Which is the first version translated into the Greek text, right? So it says, it reads on this way. I'm gonna read it myself. It says, a great mixed company went with them, sheep, oxen, and very much cattle. See that? A great mixed company went with them. Mixed company, right? So in other words, they were a combination of, some came through the Hamitic line, right? Because the truth of the matter is, Egypt was like America, right? So you may have had some Japhetic, possibly, that was in Egypt that left with the Israelites. I know you never heard nobody teach that, but it's a possibility that could have been some Japhites that were in Egypt that decided we'll go ahead and leave it them. All right, we'll talk about that in the future lesson. All right, so now going back to Exodus 19. All right, so 19. Let's do this here. let's go to, and I'll come back and look at the comments because I want to see what your thoughts are. Okay. I want to kind of bring clarity to this here. So this is the Brenton's version, and I'm going to read. Okay, she's going to read. Where did you leave off at? You read verse one.
Let me go back to verse 1.
You read 1. Okay, so start at verse 1 again. Okay. Matter of fact, let's do this here. You already read that. Do you have the Brenton's?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's read from the Brenton's version, the first Greek translation. Okay, all right, go ahead.
Verse 1.
Yeah.
And in the 3rd month of the departure of the children of Israel out of the land of Mitzrayim, on the same day they came into the wilderness of Sinai.
Mm-hmm.
And they departed from Rephidim and came into the wilderness of Sinai, and there Israel encamped before the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And Shemaiah went up to the mount of Yah, and Yah called him out of the mountain, saying, These things shalt thou say unto the house of Jacob, and thou shalt report them to the children of Israel.
All right, stop there for a second. Just I got a revelation here. I got to drop it. I got to drop a nugget. We just read that the mountain was called the Mount of Yah. Here's my question. When did that mountain become the mountain of Yah? When did he establish that that was his mountain? Right? From creation, brothers and sisters. That's what we was reading in the pseudepigrapha books. That we're gonna read that today. I'm gonna show you something. I just come. That's gonna give you a little precursor. We're gonna show you in a minute. We're gonna give you a little precursor. All right. So he went up to the mountain of Yah. So that mountain was already there when Shemaiah grew up. Everybody knew that was called the mountain of Yah. So when did it become the mountain of Yah? When it was the place of direction, right? What was that which gave them direction, right? Okay. All right. Okay, go ahead. Go back in now.
Ye have seen all that I have done to the Mitzrim, and I took you up as upon eagle's wings, and I brought you near to myself.
Right.
And now if you will indeed hear my voice and keep my covenant, ye shall be to me a peculiar people above all nations, for the whole earth is mine.
Right.
And ye shall be to me a royal priesthood and a Kodesh nation. These words shalt thou speak to the children of Israel.
Now underline that right there. Royal priesthood. So that's a familiar terminology, right? Royal priesthood. So if you do, let's see how many times Brenton said royal priesthood. Let's do a search here right quick, right? Okay, let's see. Royal priesthood. Okay, so he says it twice. Okay. Let's go to Exodus 23 and 22. Okay. And let's see, just read that verse 22 right there. This is what the Most High said.
If ye will indeed hear my voice, and if thou wilt do all the things I shall charge thee with, and keep my covenant, ye shall be to me a peculiar people above all nations, for the whole earth is mine. And ye shall be to me a royal priesthood and a Kodesh nation. These words shall ye speak to the children of Israel, if ye shall indeed hear my voice and do all the things I shall tell thee. I will be an enemy to thine enemies and an adversary to thine adversaries.
Wow, look at that. So who was he talking to right there? Let's see if we can go back. This is the Brenton's version. So let's see. He's talking to that's 23. So I would say that he's still talking to Shemaiah. Okay. All right. So this a few chapters later, I was going to say Joshua, but no, he did say something to Joshua later on, or Yahshua, the son of Nun. Okay. Now, let's go back to the regular King James, and what I'm going to do is we're going to word search royal priesthood, because we know that the Brenton's says royal priesthood, right? So that's who the Most High said, if you obey me, that's who you are. Not who the moray who leads your class is. Not who the moray you see on YouTube is, right? And praise y'all for YouTube. We're not going to downplay YouTube. We got some good Morim on YouTube. Okay. All right. So let's look at the regular King James Version. And we're going to type in, it should beat me to it. Royal priesthood. All right. What you got? Okay, so that's 1 Peter 2:9. That's the one that he read. All right. So this is what Aria read. Let's just read it. Let's just read it again. This is what Aria read. So we're going to read 2 and 8 and 9 again. Okay, 2, 8, and 9.
And a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense, even to them which stumble at the word, being disobedient, whereunto also they were appointed. But ye are a chosen generation.
Wait a minute, stop. We've read a whole lot right there in that verse there. What word did they stumble at? See, he said the stone of stumbling and the rock of offense, even to them, that's in italicized, which stumble at the word, being disobedient. So was Yahshua in the quote unquote Old Testament? Because he's saying the word that we stumbled over. Disobedient. Because Arya doesn't believe that Yahshua pre-existed before he got physical flesh. And some Israelites don't believe that. So either this is a contradictory statement because the reference, and I had a brother attack me this week, leave that New Testament alone. I said, why? And we was dialoguing back and forth, and then he went away. Okay. But it said the stumbling stone and the rock of offense, even to them which stumbled at the word. What word did we stumble at? Exodus 19. Right? So if we stumbled at the word and Peter equates that word to Yahshua, which is what Arya said in the video. Didn't he say that? You remember him saying that? Right? Okay, we'll go back to the video. Okay? Let's go back to the video. All right? And we're going to show you that this is what he said. This is what Arya said. So either if Yahshua didn't exist, pre-exist, right? Then you just said that was Yahshua. I don't get it. So let's back up for a second here. All right.
Chapter 2.
I'm at the right
Let's
place.
take a little ride over here to 1 Peter chapter 2.
Mm-hmm.
And let's pick it up at verse 4. Let's see. First Peter chapter 2, verse 4. To whom coming as unto a living stone, Yeshua, a living stone, disallowed.
What did he say? Huh? What did he say? Did he say Yahshua the living stone? Huh? So I'm confused. If Yahshua didn't pre-exist, but you saying Yahshua is the living stone, and in the text, right, it says what? I can need explosion on that one. I need an explosion, another one on that one. Because he just said that this living stone was Yahshua, but he teaches that Yahshua didn't pre-exist. So which is it? Right? And what did we stumble off of? Because that's what made us, that's what made us reject the priesthood. what we stumbled off of. Yahshua wasn't walking around in the physical flesh, right? So we go back to the text. The text lets us know that it was the word, right, that we stumbled at. They would stumble at the word. And so how does he define them stumbling? Being disobedient. Being disobedient. Look, I'm gonna do my old way. Give me a call. Like, see, I think REI got that from me. I used to do that on my other channel. Give me a call. I'll throw my number out there. 443-480-3166. Give me a call. Right? Now, back in the day, it was 312. I was in Chicago with it. But, so, the reason why we reject it, and that's why we're doing the whole lesson, because we can't be priests as long as we reject or become disobedient to the call. The Most High didn't call one person, right? He called all of us to the priesthood, to the sons. And that's why one person can chase 1,000. How many can two chase?
10,000.
That's 9,000 more than that one can. I mean, I wonder how many can three chase. Four. Okay, so four would be, I guess, 20,000, right? Right? If you double that, 2 times 2 is 10,000. 2 times 2 is 4. So that would be 20,000, right? So the more of us that get involved and embrace our priesthood, and we become the called out ones in our homes first, and then we extend that into our communities, right? And we extend that into our towns and cities and states. Boom, that's it. That was what the Most High had intended for the priesthood. That's why I said many Israelites don't comprehend the priesthood. We have made it a religion. Hey, we feel good. Thank you. We got nothing but feelings, emotions that we call spirituality. We broke. No vision, no drive, no answers. We got religion. Oh, thank you. Tears running down our face. No power. That's not what we've been called to be. We weren't called to be powerless. Right? All right, so some of us need to come off these jobs. Stop working for a living. And work for the king. And let the king bless you. Right? That's why I'm trying to cut my debt out so I can work for the king. Man, we supposed to be doing conferences, traveling around the world, being the priesthood, right? What they used to say when we was little, but no, but no, right? All right. So it's because we were disobedient. Right? That's what the official priest that embraced the priesthood should be teaching their congregations. That we can't be the priesthood as long as we are disobedient. We got our feelings on our sleeve. Somebody says something that you disagree with, something that hurts you, you start crying, you're ready to just quit and just go back to the church, or you're ready to just, I'm gonna stop listening to him. We got to stop that. When you go to the military, you in boot camp, and that drill sergeant, well, not drill sergeant, what do they call him? Instructor is training you to be in the Marine Corps, or more urban in the Navy, right? Army, right? National Guard, whatever. You in that boot camp, He don't care about you crying. He's trying to train you to be a soldier, right? Well, even Paul said, "No man that warreth entangle himself with the affairs of life, that he might be, what is it?
I can't remember.
Pull. I know it by heart, but it just dropped. Okay, no man that warreth entangle himself with the affairs of life, that he might please him who has called him to be a soldier." Y'all called us to be soldiers. We gotta stop all this feelings on our shoulders because somebody say something that to help you out in your home. You got a out of control. You have a dysfunctional home, and you raise a dysfunctional home, and you can't even spiritually perceive to see that you raise a dysfunctional home. And now it's time to put order into that dysfunction for the betterment of the people that you brought into this world. Right? All right. You mean when you talk like that, but you can't succeed in life as long as you continue to make excuses. Right? We call to be priesthood. Right? Get up. You know, what's her name? Harriet Tubman had a rifle. Where's my rifle at? Like Pastor Dow, fit on the screen. They're like, Dr. Lost it. He got a gun on the screen. I ain't gonna do it. It's not close by anyway. But Harriet Tubman had that rifle. You nigga, you gonna go to freedom if you want to or not. That's how we gotta be in this walk. Stop crying. That slave master don't love you, right? Poverty don't love you. Nobody gonna put food. This government you depend on them with welfare system. You depend on them with public assistance, right? You got now a group of people in the office that want to get rid of Social Security. You dependent on the system, right? You better learn how to do some stuff for yourself, right?
You're gonna learn today.
So now, it's because they were disobedient, right? Okay, they were disobedient, whereunto they were appointed, right? But when Yahshua came in the flesh, this is what people don't get, because I think Moray Ariyah said the evangel. Evangel is supposed to be the gospel, but most Israelites don't know what the gospel is. Gospel is not the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus, Yahshua. Right? You are a chosen generation, right? That's the gospel. You're a chosen generation, right? A royal priesthood. There it is. You are a royal. That's who you are. Stop saying I'm a babe in this walk. It's time for you to get off the milk and get on the meat. How long you gonna be a baby? If y'all had a baby in your house and the baby always remained, the baby never grew up, and the baby's still drinking milk and drinking the bottle, wouldn't you think something was wrong with that baby? Mm-hmm. We got people been this walk 5, 10, 15 years, still a baby. Can't walk on their own 2 feet. Why? Because you're being led by your senses. You're being led by the flesh and not being led by the spirit. And when somebody says something to you to encourage you, to push you to be your full maximum potential, you get weak and you get upset and you just want to just go in the corner and just cry. Crying ain't gonna do nothing, brothers and sisters. Okay. He said, you are a chosen generation and a royal priesthood and a Kodesh nation. Isn't that what the Most High said in Exodus? We tying the two together. Peter is basically reinterpreting, right? Exodus 19. He's saying that which was spoken, this is what Yahshua came in the physical flesh to do, to reinstate you back to the priesthood after the order of Malak Sadak. Not to follow your moray. My. So he said, royal priesthood and the Kodesh nation, a peculiar people that should show forth the praise of him who have called you out of darkness into the marvelous light. Let's not talk about singing songs. Oh, thank you. That's all we got. But that's not what he's talking about, because that's not where he got it from. He talking about you singing those songs, right? Your song is a result of your life. The best songs are experience. When you singing your experience. I was once disobedient, but now I have chosen to follow Yah. Right? That's our testimony. I chose. He chose me, and since he chose me, I chose to be obedient to the call of priesthood. Okay? Together. Touch your neighbor and say, you a priest. I don't care what Ariah said on that video. You called to be a priest. You are a priest. Now walk in your priesthood. And I get a witness. Huh?
Am I right? That's right.
All right. So now, I said all that to say this. My cousin says that. I said all that to say this. All right. So we're called to the priesthood. So as we get ready to go officially into Noah, before we read, I just wanted to bring that out. We have to know, brothers and sisters, the reason why the earnest expectation of the creature is waiting for the manifestation of the sons of Yah. That's who we are. We're called to be those sons and daughters of the covenant of Yah. That's why I changed the channel from Malachi Ministries, because that's a religion, to sons and daughters of the covenant of Yah. Because that, when you come to this channel, when you see a video, I want you to know that that's who you called to be. Nothing more, nothing less. As Moray Josiah says, nothing more, nothing less. In that order, right? You were called to be the priesthood to the nations, whether you think you're qualified or not. Remember Shemaiah, he had a stammering problem. I don't think I can lead these people, boss. Y'all said, if you obey me, don't worry about your inabilities. Don't worry about your shyness, right? Or your lack of ability to speak words that empower people. Don't worry about that. Y'all might not believe me when I tell you, I wasn't always outspoken. I'm very outspoken now, but I wasn't outspoken. Shoot. But when I embraced the call to the priesthood, I became like a lion. Right? Because that's who we are. That's who we are. Okay, so now let's look at some comments here real quick, and then we're gonna get into. Now, prayerfully, I didn't offend anybody and I'm not discouraging anybody from tuning in to Ariah's channel. We're gonna still tune into him today, because I want to see what you got to say about part 2, right? And I would love to see us get together. Us, hey, if he's got something to share to prove that how we envision the scriptures is wrong, I'm all open ears for that. Right? Let's come to the table, because no one teacher is 100% accurate on everything that they say. Right? The book is right. It's when we read extracurricular things and we read what you call commentaries that leads us down a road that we don't need to go down. Okay. That's all I'm saying. So much love, much respect to REI, Ben Nasik, NCCI, Charlotte Tabernacle Elohim. Continue to subscribe and to view his lessons. But just know that no teacher, including myself, is 100% accurate on everything. All right. Now, with that said, let me look at some of these comments here. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's back up here. Where did I leave off at? Let's back up here. Y'all said a whole lot here while I was going forth. Okay. Let's see where we at here. Hold on a second. Okay. All right. You know what? It's too many comments for me to. Let me see if I can pick and choose something that I see that jumps out at me real quick. Let's see. Where are we at here? Okay, I read that one there. So King, I think King was the last one I kind of blocked out. All right. Okay, let's see. Okay, I thought I had blocked. Okay, I think I still see posts coming from King. Okay, maybe he is going. Okay, I see. I went too far back. Okay, Sonny there in Jacksonville, Florida. Sonny, we coming down. Brother Dollars, good to see my brother. Right, sounds tied not every Shabbat. That's right. We still tune into them. Not a problem. I don't have a problem. I call them campers. Campers attack the camp doctrine. Right. I started calling them specifically the One West camp because I used it just to say camps, but not all camps are teaching the hateful lies. So I didn't want to use such in the broad brush. There you go. Right. That's how we do. We attack that teaching. Esau is the white man, and Christian Cartism is camp doctrine. I reject it. Yeah. Right. Saying, okay, I don't subscribe to that woman can't convert doctrine as well because it wasn't for converted women. We wouldn't have 12 tribes. That's correct. Yah raised a whole nation regardless of gender. That's correct. Samaritanites, those Ottoman Turks. Turks are the sons of Yefet, and if I'm not mistaken, yes, they are. They are. Turks came later on, and we have to do a teach of the table nation to show you that all of Yefet didn't have the lighter hue. Okay, that's another lesson for another day. Yeah, I do believe so. What kind of Strongs do you use? I would like to use it. Okay, Strongs. Remind me. In matter of fact, like the Gentiles, send me an email. I send you a link where you can actually download it from your computer for free, right? For the Strong's numbers and other resources that connects you to that. Okay, I'll do that for you. You got to get the Hebrew Lexicon by Jeff Benner. Okay, Hebrew Lexicon by Jeff Benner. Elias Stone, good to see my brother. It's funny that best on the camp doctrine, Noah won't be saved. That's true. That's true. Based on the camp doctrine. Let's see. Caleb was an Edomite. Don't tell the campers. Caleb was an Edomite. Don't tell the camper. I don't know about that. I've never gone into the lineage of Caleb. I'm not saying you're wrong, but okay. I'm not sure. I'm not debating that about Caleb. I'm not sure. So I'm not going to answer on that. How cows? That's got to hurt One West. Okay. I don't know what that was. They never addressed it right. I'm probably talking about when I said there was a mixed multitude, that they were not all Israelites came out of Egypt. Yeah. Oh, right. That's a fact. My mindset is because we don't truly know our bloodline. I'm going to follow Yah's law, statutes, commandments, and humble. Ready? That's right. I mean, hey, Lion Pride, man, you nailed it right there. You nailed it right there. Let's see. You nailed it right there. Let me give you a lion growl. Oh, that's the bear. I don't want the bear. I lost my. Where's my other lion at? Okay, all right. Let's see. Everyone in the know, including David, knew of Yahshua, or so yes, he pre-existed, but Yahshua was not part of a Trinity. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. Brother Dollar said, if you're wondering how I determined Caleb wasn't in my numbers. Okay, all right. I'll look into that. Hey, appreciate that. Appreciate you sharing. Let me copy this right here so I can. That's good to know. Okay. I'm just gonna put this over here somewhere on my notes for future reference. Okay. All right. I'll look it up after we go offline. Okay. Request that we pray for Sherry. Now, there's much power in prayer. Where am I at here? Okay, hold on a second. The thing jumped on me. Okay, wait a minute. I lost my place. Okay. Okay, G requests we pray for Sister Sherry right now. There's much power in prayer. She appears short with oxygen. Yah, our creator, for we believe in all things that you have commanded. My sister will live in the name of Yah. Okay. We agree in prayer. Matter of fact, hang around for a little bit at the end. Is she not online today? Let's see. Thanks so much. Okay, thank you for joining. Okay, all right. Let's see. The good news is our redemption, right? That's part of it, right? Redemption is part of the good news. Okay, redeemed from and reconciled to, right? And reinstated. Redemption, reconciliation, and reinstatement, right? So the 3 R: redemption, reconciliation, and reinstatement. Okay, in my book of Shemaiah, the lawgiver wrote Caleb to be a Canaanite. Okay, all right. Hey, y'all got something to talk about there, Moray. Apparently, there was an Edom ruler named Kenaz. Okay. These were okay. All right, we're not gonna get off into that. Okay, that's kind of taking away off the subject. We're talking about priesthood. Okay, well, I wasn't in the first. Reason I take before I got it ready to post. Okay. Okay. Quadroon and octroon. All right. Okay, let's see. All right, let's get to the lesson here. Okay, all right. A good time in there. All right, so let's get to the lesson. So, we're going to open up with the book of Jubilees. Okay. All right, let's see if we can do this here real quick. The book of Jubilees. And let's see, let's get Arya off the screen here. And let's see. Let's see if I can give you a link. Okay, let's see, archives. Matter of fact, I actually have. So we're going to go to we're going to go to this link here for the viewers as soon as it comes up. Let's just copy the link. Okay, can't reach this page. can't, I don't know why they can't reach that page. But let's go back. Oh, they're offline now. Okay, we're not gonna be able to do that then. I'll put links in. For some reason or other, archive.org is down again. So I'll put links in the description. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to put it on the screen for everybody to see, since we can't get to it. Okay. So we're going to start where I say I want to start at chapter beginning with Noah, right? So let's do this here. We're gonna go to the pseudepigrapha first. All right. The pseudepigrapha first. The book of Enoch 2. Okay, so we're gonna go to Enoch. Let's do pseudepigrapha. Okay, volume 1. So this is a pseudepigrapha volume 1. We're gonna open up, and we're gonna start. Okay, let's go back up to how far up do I want to go? Okay, let's see. Hold on a second. Here we're right here. Let's start. That's not. That's too far back. I want to go up. Let's see. Let's go here. This is page 207. I got 207. So let's start. Let's start right here, 70 on page 200. Okay. So we're going to start right here. Chapter 70. This is 2nd Enoch, page 200, chapter 70. Okay. Right there. Start right here.
And Methuselah began to stand at the altar in front of the face of Yah, and all the people from that day for 10 years, hoping in an eternal inheritance, and having thoroughly taught all the earth and all his own people. And there was found one single person turning himself away in vanity from Yah during all the days that Methuselah lived. And Yah blessed Methuselah and was gratified by his sacrifices and by his gifts and by every kind of service which he performed in front of the face of Yah. And when the time of the departure days of Methuselah arrived, Yah appeared to him in a night vision and said to him, "Listen, Methuselah, I am Yah, the Elohim of your father Enoch. I want you to know that the days of your life have come to an end, and the day of your rest has come close. Call near the second son of your son Lamech, born after Noah, and invest him in the garments of your consecration. And make him stand at my altar, and tell him everything that will happen in his days, for the time of the destruction of all the earth and of every human being and of everything that lives on the earth is drawing near."
Okay, pause for a second. So now, did you know that Noah had a brother named Ner? You wouldn't know that if you didn't read the pseudepigrapha books. Okay, so we do know that Noah wasn't the only child. right? I mean, so when you read the King James, you know, our teacher tells us not to read from false books. Pseudo means false, right? I used to say that. But you take the meat off the bones, because we do know that none of the writings are fallible, because when man has their hand in translating it from another text, how do we know that they genuinely brought everything in that was in the original? How do we know that they didn't change like they did Jesus? Jesus is not a transliteration of Yahshua in any form, fashion, shape, because transliteration means to exchange an equivalent letter. If the Greeks don't have an equivalent letter, then you can go up and watch the rest of that video where Arya breaks that down and Moriyahu touched it. If the Greeks didn't have a Y equivalent to the Hebrew Yod, and they made it an I sound, they already at a deficit. Okay? So if they don't have a sheen, right? And they add the Greek, what is it, iota? Or is it upsilon? I forget. Phi, beta, sigma, right? It's the S, sigma. Okay, all right. I'm not a Greek scholar, so I'm not trying to pretend to be one, but I'm just saying, okay. If you don't have equivalent letter to make a transliteration, to make it literate, then you change the meaning of the word. Okay, so back to the reading. So Ner was Noah's brother, right? The son of Lamech. You read about Lamech last week. Lamech was not, he didn't embrace the priesthood. Okay. All right. Let's go back in. You stopped at drawing near. You got 4 in his days.
For in his days there will be a very great breakdown on the earth, for each one has begun to envy his neighbor, and people against people have destroyed boundaries, and the nation wages war, and all the earth is filled with vileness and blood and every kind of evil. Even more than that, they have abandoned their Elohim, and they will do obeisance to unreal deities, and to the vault above the sky, and to what moves above the earth, and to the waves of the sea. And the adversary will make himself great and will be delighted with his deeds, to my great provocation. And all the earth will change its seasons, and every tree and every fruit will change their seeds, anticipating the time of destruction. And all the races will change on the earth by my conflagration. Then I shall give the command, the bottomless will be poured out over the earth. And Methuselah took the knife and slaughtered all that had been brought by the people. And the people rejoiced, and they made merry in front of the face of Yah, and in front of the face of Methuselah on that day. And then they went off to their houses.
Okay, so there are different versions here. So this is 70 again. So this is another version. So we're not going to read that. We're going to skip down. Okay. To okay, we're at 71 right here. Okay, so 71 right here.
Behold, the wife of Ner, whose name was Sopanim, being sterile and never having at any time given birth to a child by Ner. And Sopanim was in the time of her old age and in the day of her death. She conceived in her womb, but Ner the priest had not slept with her, nor had he touched her, for the day that Yah had appointed him to conduct the liturgy in front of the face of the people. And when Sopanim saw her pregnancy, she was ashamed and embarrassed, and she hid herself during all the days until she gave birth, and not one of the people knew about it. And when 282 days had been completed, and the day of birth had begun to approach, and Ner remembered his wife, and he called her to himself in his house, so that he might converse with her. And Sopanim came to Ner her husband, and behold, she was pregnant, and the day appointed for giving birth was drawing near. And Ner saw her, and he became very ashamed. And he said to her, "What is this that you have done, O wife? Why have you disgraced me in front of the face of these people? And now depart from me and go where you began the disgrace of your womb, so that I might not defile my hand on account of you and sin in front of the face of Yah." And Sopanim spoke to Ner, her husband, saying, "O my master, behold, it is the time of my old age, and the day of my death has arrived. I do not understand how my..."
Let's see. 7. Okay. There is no 8. Okay, 8's missing.
Was that it? My menopause and barrenness.
Okay.
Yeah. I do not understand why my menopause and the barrenness of my womb have been reversed. And Ner did not believe his wife. For the second time he said to her, "Depart from me, or else I might assault you and commit a sin in front of the face of Yah." And it came to pass, when Ner had spoken to his wife Sopanim, that Sopanim fell down at Ner's feet and died. Ner was extremely distressed, and he said in his heart, "Could this have happened because of my word, since my word and thought a person can sin in front of the face of Yah? Now may Yah have mercy upon me. I know in truth in my heart that my hand was not upon her, and so I say, Kabod to you, O Yah, because no one among mankind knows about this deed which Yah has done." And Ner hurried and shut the door of his house, and he went to Noah his brother, and he reported to him everything that had happened in connection with his wife. And Noah hurried, and he came with Ner his brother. He came into Ner's house because of the death of Sopanim, and they discussed between themselves how her womb was at the time of giving birth. And Noah said to Ner, "Don't let yourself be sorrowful, Ner my brother, for Yah today has covered up our scandal, in that nobody from the people knows this. Now let us go quickly and let us bury her secretly, and Yah will cover up the scandal of our shame." And they placed Sopanim on the bed, and they wrapped her around with black garments and shut her in the house prepared for burial. They dug a grave in secret, and a child came out from the dead Sopanim, and he sat up on the bed at her side. And Noah and Ner came in to bury Sopanim, and they saw the child sitting beside the dead Sopanim and wiping his clothing. And Noah and Ner were very terrified with a great fear, because the child was fully developed physically, like a 3-year-old, and he spoke with his lips, and he blessed Yah. And Noah and Ner looked at him, and behold, the badge of priesthood was on his chest, and it was Kabodius in appearance. And Noah and Ner said, "Behold, Yah is renewing the priesthood from blood related to us, just as he pleases." And Noah and Ner hurried, and they washed the child, and they dressed him in the garments of priesthood, and they gave him the Kodesh bread, and he ate it, and they called his name Malachsadak. And Noah and Ner lifted up the body of Sopanim and divested her in the black garments, and they washed her, and they clothed her in exceptionally bright garments, and they built a shrine for her. Noah and Ner and Malachsadak came, and they buried her publicly. And Noah said to his brother Ner, "Look after this child in secret until the time, because people will become treacherous in all the earth, and they will begin to turn away from Yah, and having become totally ignorant, they will put him to death." And then Noah went away to his own place.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So, interesting, right?
I thought they were going to go in and attempt to remove the child from her stomach anyway.
Right.
They was going to just bury.
So that's interesting, right? So now, I mean, I can see why people say these are false books. But then again, I mean, just giving some food for thought, just thinking, okay, anything is possible. I mean, I'm not going to discount it and say that story is false because of the child come out of a dead woman. I mean, has it ever happened in history before? Somebody died and had a baby, say maybe they died in an accident and they cut the baby, brought the baby out.
Yeah, that happens.
So the thing is that whether you choose to believe that that's a false story or not, that's your prerogative to choose to believe that. But the interesting thing about it is that she had a similar experience, like Miriam, the mother of Yahshua, right?
The child was fully formed, 3 years old. How do you have a 3-year-old in your womb? That's not a short child. But at 3 years old, if you and he, based on what they said, the child was at term. So if you see an opening, you coming out.
Well, I mean, but then you can say the same thing about Adam bringing his wife out of his side, a full-grown woman too.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can say the same thing about Adam being born and formed out of dust of ground and being and coming to life as a full-grown man. So we can continue to go on and on and on because the atheists don't believe that story, right? So is it possible that that could have happened? Yes, possible. Do you believe that it happened? I don't know, either one way or the other. But I just thought it was good reading, right? Something to make you think, right? Y'all, every miracle and thing that happened in life wasn't written down in the records. So we just don't know, right? Now, but it did name him Malak Sadak, or as it says here, Melchizedek, right? All right. So let's see. Now I just wanted to read that. We're gonna get to Noah. Okay, let's see. All right, just bear with me a second here. We're gonna switch over to Jubilees in a minute. Okay. I think that's it. That's it. So Noah was introduced, but his younger brother was the priest. So in conjunction with our lesson, we have the priesthood, right? So Methuselah taught Ner, right? And obviously Ner taught his older brother Noah about the priesthood. And now we're going to go to Jubilees, right? And I want to go straight to Noah. Okay, let's go back here. I went too far. Okay, let's do this here. Hold on a second. Let's go to chapter. All right, let's start verse 5 here. To start chapter 4 in the book of Jubilees, chapter 4 and 5. Okay, for those of you that want the unedited version without all commercials and all of that, you have to be a member. You can watch it without any interruption. Shabbat we kind of laid back, so I kind of just take my time, all right, and interact with the viewers. Okay, so let's go to Book of Jubilees, chapter 4. We're gonna start here. Is that 4? Yeah, 5, verse 5. Okay, I don't know if this is 4 or 5, but start right here where it says, "And it came to pass." Let's blow this up a little bit. Okay, right here.
And it came to pass when the children of men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the angels of Yah saw them on a certain year of this Jubilee, that they were beautiful to look upon, and they took themselves wives of all whom they chose, and they bare unto them sons, and they were giants. And lawlessness increased on the earth, and all flesh corrupted its way, alike men and cattle and beasts and birds and everything that walks on the earth. All of them corrupted their ways and their orders, and they began to devour each other. And lawlessness increased on the earth, and every imagination of the thoughts of all men was thus evil continually. And Yah looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, and all flesh had corrupted its orders, and all that were upon the earth had wrought all manner of evil before his eyes. And he said, I shall destroy man and all flesh upon the face of the earth, which I have created. But Noah found grace before the eyes of Yah, and against the angels whom he had sent upon the earth. He was exceedingly wroth, and he gave commandment to root them out of all their dominion. And he bade us to bind them in the depths of the earth. And behold, they are bound in the midst of them, and are kept separate. And against their sons went forth a command from before his face, that they should be smitten with the sword, and be removed from under heaven. And he said, my spirit will not always abide on man, for they also are flesh, and their days shall be 120 years. And he sent his sword into their midst, that each should slay his neighbor. And they began to slay each other till they all fell by the sword, and were destroyed from the earth. And their fathers were witnesses of their destruction. And after this they were bound in the depths of the earth forever, until the day of the great condemnation, when judgment is executed.
So let's stop there for a second. So the angels, see, in Christianity, right? You know where I'm going with this, right? Demons are supposed to be disembodied spirits walking around on the earth, right? The fallen. But according to what we read here, right, those spirits are held in chains. I think Peter says something about that. I think that left their first estate. Was it Peter or was it Jude? Let's pull up real quick. Was it Jude?
I think it was Jude.
Okay, let's see. All right. Okay, Jude 1 and 6. That's it. Jude 1 and 6. Okay.
Read that one verse.
Yeah.
And the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he reserving in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day.
So Jubilees is correct.
I think some people believe that they are reserved in chains. Is it under the river Euphrates?
Oh, I don't know. They somewhere.
I've read that. Yeah.
Somewhere in the earth.
It.
Somewhere in the earth, you have different philosophies of people to talk about things like
Euphrates or somewhere else,
like the lost city of Atlantis, stuff like that. So I mean, you can go 100 different ways with that, different viewpoints, different schools of thought, right? Take it and have at it and enjoy it. Me, I don't go down, I don't get that deep like that no more, because it's really not relevant to me. As far as to like the lake of fire and stuff like that don't exist right now. People think people are in hell in the lake of fire, which don't exist. That's another lesson. Okay. The lake of fire will be established, but it's not today. Okay. Let's see. So let's go back in Jubilees. All right. So we stopped at judgment is executed. Okay. All right, go ahead, continue right here on all those.
on all those who have corrupted their ways and their works before Yah.
Right.
And he destroyed all from their places, and there was not left one of them whom he judged not according to all their wickedness.
Right.
And he made for all his works a new and righteous nature, so that they should not sin in their whole nature forever, but should be all righteous, each in his kind always. Each in his kind always.
Right.
And the judgment of all is ordained and written on the heavenly tables in righteousness, even the judgment of all who depart from the path which is ordained for them to walk in.
Heavenly tables.
And if they walk not therein, judgment is written down for every creature and for every kind. And there is nothing in heaven or on earth or in light or in darkness or in Sheol or in the depth or in the place of darkness, which is not judged. And all their judgments are ordained and written and engraved. In regard to all, he will judge the great according to his greatness, and the small according to his smallness, and each according to his way. And he is not one who will regard the person of any, nor is he one who will receive gifts. If he says that he will execute judgment on each, if one gave everything that is on the earth, he will not regard the gifts or the person of any, nor accept anything at his hands, for he is a righteous judge. And the children of Israel, it has been written and ordained, if they turn to him in righteousness, he will forgive all their transgressions and pardon all their sins. It is written and ordained that he will show mercy to all who turn from all their guilt once each year. And as for all those who corrupted their ways and their thoughts before the flood, no man's person was accepted except that of Noah alone. For his person was accepted in behalf of his sons, whom Yah saved from the waters of the flood on his account. For his heart was righteous in all his ways, according as it was commanded regarding him. And he had not departed from aught that was ordained for him. And Yah said that he would destroy everything which was upon the earth, both men and cattle and beasts and fowls of the air, and that which moved on the earth. And he commanded Noah to make him an ark, that he might save himself from the waters of the flood. And Noah made the ark in all respects as he commanded him. In the 27th Jubilee of years, in the 5th week of the 5th year, on the new moon of the 1st month. And he entered in the 6th year thereof, in the 2nd month, on the new moon of the 2nd month, to the 16th. And he entered, and all that we brought to him into the ark, and Yah closed it from without on the 17th evening.
That's good. Okay, so now we're gonna skip through some reading there. So we know Noah, we learned last Shabbat that Noah was a preacher of righteousness. He preached the law, statutes, and commandments of Yah. And he didn't have the Holy Ghost speaking in tongues. Do it. See, at Pentecostalism, we believe you can't be righteous until you get the Holy Ghost. So you can't do righteous until you get the Holy Ghost. We have men that were righteous because you do, I'm going to tell you like this, you do have the spirit of Yah in you. We suppress it, right? Right? But you do have the spirit of Yah when he breathed in you. He gave you his spirit, right? But we was taught that you don't have. Okay, so Noah was called, and I want to read this right here, and it's going to kind of branch us into Abraham, right? So start right here. This is chapter 5. and
Six.
chapter 6. Okay. All right, go ahead.
And on the new moon of the 3rd month, he went forth from the ark and built an altar on that mountain. And he made atonement for the earth, and took a kid and made atonement by its blood for all the guilt of the earth. For everything that had been on it had been destroyed, save those that were in the ark with Noah. And he placed the fat thereof on the altar, and he took an ox and a goat and a sheep and kids and salt and a turtle dove and the young of a dove, and placed a burnt sacrifice on the altar, and poured thereon an offering mingled with oil, and sprinkled wine, and strewed frankincense over everything, and caused a goodly savor to arise, acceptable before Yah. And Yah smelt the goodly savor, and he made a covenant with him that there should not be any more a flood to destroy the earth, and that all the days of the earth, seed time and harvest, should never cease, cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night.
So Noah was a priest. He offered sacrifice for the earth, right? And that we read, he said he made atonement for the earth after the flood, right? The same Noah was a priest. You're not going to learn that in Sunday school. You're not going to learn that in most Hebrew camps, that Noah was a priest. But he was a priest because why? He was taught how to be a priest from who? Methuselah. Who taught Methuselah how to be a priest? Right? Enoch. And now we see Noah operating in the priesthood. As we saying, the history of the called out ones didn't start in Acts 2. So if you are of the mind that the history of the church started in Acts 2, then you missed it. The church called out one started from the creation of the first man who fell, who taught his son, who fell, who taught the next son, who taught the generations, and Methuselah, Enoch, and then Methuselah, and Noah's brother, and then Noah, and now we're going into the other sons. Okay, so let's go further. Let's skip through some reading here. So we know the judgment came, the flood came. Okay. Let's start right here. Verse 15.
And he gave to Noah and his sons a sign that there should not again be a flood on the earth.
Right.
He set his bow in the cloud for a sign of the eternal covenant, that there should not again be a flood on the earth.
Right.
To destroy it all the days of the earth. For this reason it is ordained and written on the heavenly tables that they should celebrate the Feast of Weeks in this month once a year, to renew the covenant every year.
Right.
And this whole festival was celebrated in heaven from the day of creation to the days of Noah, 26 jubilees and 5 weeks of years.
Or what did we just read there? Huh? What did we just read? See, because religion and tradition teaches us that the Feast of Weeks started with the formation of the nation of Israel, but Jubilees begs to differ. He said it started when? From the day of creation, right? Mm-hmm. So, as it is in heaven, may be on earth, right? Earth is a shadow of the true image in heaven, right? So you have the heavenly and you have the natural, right? So just like when the Most High, will get to that in the future lesson, when he instructed Shemaiah to make the tabernacle after the vision of heaven, right? Which meant there was a tabernacle in heaven, which is coming down during 1,000 years, right? Gonna set right here, right? And then it's going to bring in the second Exodus. There will be a second Exodus, brother Kelly Richardson. It's just not called second Exodus. It's a play on words. It's called the gathering, right? The gathering of the saints. So that's your second Exodus. And I saw a sister did a video. The ships of Tarshish is not bringing Japheth's sons to Israel. It's bringing the Israelites, just like it says in prophecy, back to the land. It's called the Great Harvest or the Ingathering, right? You have the first fruits, and then you have the Great Harvest, right? So when you don't comprehend prophetic flow of things, then you get off and teach a religion, right? The ships of Tarshish is not symbolic of resurrection. So much symbolism. We get to be so deep that we just lose everybody. We lose the whole comprehension of what the Most High's plan that he has made for humanity. There will be a second Exodus. Okay? Now, I'm not a fan of, I don't really know them that well, Jacoba and Teo, but I will say this, they're right. All right. They're right on that one. Okay. It's just their terminology, second Exodus. I guess you could say second. You say when in Isaiah he talks about when I come to gather the sheep for the second time, I think it says. Right? It says second time in there. I think it does. Let's pull up real quick. Okay. This is kind of relevant to what I'm saying, but we're gonna get back. Okay, so let's pull it up real quick. Isaiah 11 and 11, I think it is. Okay. Right, that's it. There it is. That's it. That's it. 11:11. Getting cold now, ain't you?
Oh, no.
All right, go ahead.
And it shall come to pass in that day that Yah shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Mitzrayim and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea.
So there goes your second Exodus right there, right? The second time. So he's right. So they are right. All right. So give us a call. Richardson Kelly Richardson, if you see this, give us a call. 443-480-3166. I'm on the screen, right? And I'll debate you on the screen. And I'll invite some other Maureen to come on the screen and debate you about a second Exodus, because there will be a second Exodus, as the scripture says, right? Okay. Enough on that. Let's get back in, okay? As we prepare to wrap it up here. All right. Now, so the Feast of Weeks was celebrated, right, in heaven from the day of creation till the days of Noah. 26 Jubilees, 5 weeks, years. All right. Did you stop there? Mm-hmm. Okay, go ahead.
And Noah and his sons observed it for 7 Jubilees and 1 week of years till the day of Noah's death. And from the day of Noah's death, his sons did away with it until the days of Abraham, and they eat blood.
Right.
But Abraham observed it, and Yitzhak and Jacob and his children observed it up to thy days, and in thy days the children of Israel forgot it until ye celebrated it anew on this mountain. And do thou command the children of Israel to observe this festival in all their generations, for a commandment unto them. 1 day in the year, in this month, they shall celebrate the festival, for it is the Feast of Weeks, and the feast Next.
Oh, no wonder why I stopped.
Of first fruits. This feast is twofold and of a double nature, according to what is written and engraven concerning it. Celebrate it. For I have written in the book of the first law, in that which I have written for thee, that thou shouldest celebrate it in its season, one day in the year. And I explained to thee its sacrifices, that the children of Israel should remember and should celebrate it throughout their generations in this month, one day in every year. And on the new moon of the first month, and on the new moon of the fourth month, and on the new moon of the seventh month, and on the new moon of the 10th month are the days of remembrance, and the days of the seasons in the 4 divisions of the year. These are written and ordained as a testimony forever, and Noah ordained them for himself as feasts for the generations forever, so that they have become thereby a memorial unto him. And on the new moon of the first month he was bidden to make for himself an ark. And on that day the earth became dry, and he opened the ark and saw the earth. And on the new moon of the fourth month the mouths of the depths of the abysses beneath were closed.
There goes that abyss right there. See, that's where they are, right? All right, go ahead.
And on the new moon of the 7th month, all the mouths of the abysses of the earth were opened, and the waters began to descend into them. And on the new moon of the 10th month, the tops of the mountains were seen, and Noah was glad. And on this account he ordained them for himself as feasts for a memorial forever. And thus are they ordained, and they placed them on the heavenly tables. Each had 13 weeks from one to another, past their memorial, from the first to the second, and from the second to the third, and from the third to the fourth. And all the days of the commandment will be 52 weeks of days, and these will make the entire year complete. Thus it is engraven and ordained on the heavenly tables, and there is no neglecting this commandment for a single year, or from year to year. And command thou the children of Israel that they should observe the years according to this reckoning, 364 days, and these will constitute a complete year, and they will not disturb its time from its days and from its feasts, for everything will fall out in them according to their testimony, and they will not leave out any day nor disturb any feast. But if they do neglect and do not observe them according to his commandment, then they will disturb all their seasons, and the years will be dislodged from this order. And they will disturb the seasons, and the years will be dislodged, and they will neglect their ordinances. And all the children of Israel will forget, and will not find the path of the years, and will forget the new moons and seasons and Sabbaths, and they will go wrong as to all the order of the years. For I know, and from henceforth shall I declare it unto thee, and it is not of my own devising, for the book lies written before me, and on the heavenly tables the division of days is ordained, lest they forget the feast of the covenant, and walk according to the feast of the Gentiles, after their error and after their ignorance.
There you go. There goes your 'tis the season to be jolly, fa la la la, folly, a folly, folly. It's the season to be folly, right? It's not the season to be jolly, right? It's the season to be folly, right? All right. So the Feast of the Gentiles, they played with the calendar. They shift things around, and now we have 70 degrees day in December, and then we have a 30 degrees day 2 days later. Right? All was spoken out of the mouth of the priest, prophet, king. All right. That's good. So not only are we priests and kings, we prophets too. All right. Now, let's skip down to, was it 10? I see 13. I want to go to 13. I think it is 13. Okay. Let's go here. Since brother asked about Genesis 10. So this is Jubilees, which is corresponds with Genesis 10. Okay. Let's start at the top right here. Okay. The 7th week of the first. If you get tired of reading, let me know.
Pull it up some more since I'm starting there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And in the 7th week, in the first year thereof, in this Jubilee, Noah planted vines on the mountain of which the ark had rested, named Lubar, one of the Ararat mountains, and they produced fruit in the 4th year. And 13:20 a.m. he guarded their fruit and gathered it in this year in the 7th month. And he made wine therefrom, and put it into a vessel, and kept it until the 5th year, until the first 13:21 a.m. day on the new moon of the 1st month. And he celebrated with joy the day of this feast, and he made a burnt sacrifice unto Yah, 1 young ox and 1 ram, and 7 sheep, each a year old, and a kid of the goats, that he might make atonement thereby for himself and his sons. And he prepared the kid first, and placed some of its blood on the flesh that was on the altar which he had made, and all the fat he laid on the altar where he made the burnt sacrifice, and the ox and the ram and the sheep, and he laid all their flesh upon the altar. And he placed all their offerings mingled with oil upon it, and afterwards he sprinkled wine on the fire which he had previously made on the altar. And he placed incense on the altar, and caused a sweet savor to ascend, acceptable before Yahuwah his Elohim. And he rejoiced and drank of this wine, he and his children, with joy. And it was evening, and he went into his tent, and being drunken, he lay down and slept, and was uncovered in his tent as he slept. And Ham saw Noah his father naked, and went forth and told his 2 brethren without. And Shem took his garment and arose, and he and Japheth, and they placed the garment on their shoulders, and went backward, and covered the shame of their father, and their faces were backward. And Noah awoke from his sleep, and knew all that his younger son had done unto him. And he cursed his son, and said, Cursed be Canaan, an enslaved servant shall he be unto his brethren. And he blessed Shem, and said, Blessed be the Elohim of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. And Yah shall enlarge Japheth, and Yah shall dwell in the dwelling of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. And Ham knew that his father had cursed his younger son, and he was displeased that he had cursed his son. And he parted from his father, he and his sons with him, Cush and Mitzrayim, and Phut and Canaan. And he built for himself a city, and called its name after the name of his wife, Naela Tamauk. And Japheth saw it, and became envious of his brother, and he too built for himself a city, and he called its name after the name of his wife, Adat Tanesis. And Shem dwelt with his father Noah, and he built a city close to his father on the mountain, and he too called its name after the name of his wife, Sadek Telabab. And behold, these 3 cities are near Mount Lubar, Sadet Telabab, fronting the mountain on its east, and Nael Tamuk on the south, and Adat Tanesis towards the west. And these are the sons of Shem, Elam, and Asher, and Arphaxad. Shad. This son was born 2 years after the flood, and Lud and Aram. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Madai, and Yavan, and Tubal, and Meshech, and Tyrus. These are the sons of Noah. And in the 28th Jubilee, Noah began to enjoin upon his sons the ordinances and the commandments and all the judgments that he knew, and he exhorted his sons to observe righteousness, and to cover the shame of their flesh, and to bless their creator, and honor father and mother, and love their neighbor, and guard their souls from fornication and uncleanness and all iniquity.
Okay, pause there for a second. Can give you a little breather there. Okay, so man,
Oh, so
go ahead.
I was looking at. He said the shame there was the nakedness.
Right, exactly, right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that was it. Let me slide a little closer. So that was it. So, you hear Hebrew camps say, Ham slept with his father's wife or whatever. No. And you go to the book of the law and you read that and you say, he shall not uncover his father's nakedness. See, that means that he sleep with his father's wife. No. We just say he saw his father's nakedness. Shamed him. Right, that's what he did. He didn't sleep with him. It wasn't a homosexual act. Right? It was he disrespected his father's nudity. Okay? He wasn't supposed to look at his father's nakedness. Right? Okay. That's what happened there. Interesting, right? These wives. Now, in Jubilees tells us the name of the three sons' wives. Now, and the last part I want to share there is because as we're going to Abraham, we're seeing that Noah was a priest, right? Called out, and he taught his sons the priesthood. Whether they followed it or not, that's a whole nother lesson. But Noah taught his sons how to be a kingdom of priests after everybody on the earth was wiped out. He taught his sons and grandsons. Okay. And we're going to show you what the sons and grandsons did, right? Okay, let's continue now. You feel you good? You good?
Okay. You can read if you want to.
I want to give you a break if you need a break. Okay. Go ahead.
Owing to the fornication, I didn't finish that last sentence up there. For owing to these three things came the flood upon the earth, namely.
Okay, owing to what three things? Right? So, the commandments, ordinances, commandments, and what's the other third one? Fornication, uncleanness, and iniquity. Fornication, uncleanness, and iniquity. Right. Okay, go ahead.
Namely, owing to the fornication wherein the watchers against the law of their ordinances went a whoring after the daughters of men, and took themselves wives of all which they chose, and they made the beginning of uncleanness. And they begat sons, the Nephilim, and they were all unlike, and they devoured one another. And the giant slew the Nephil, and the Nephil slew the Eljo, and the Eljo mankind, and one another.
That what we just read in Enoch 2, right? We read that where they killed each other, right? Remember that? Okay, good.
And everyone sold himself to work iniquity and to shed much blood, and the earth was filled with iniquity. And after this they sinned against the beasts and birds, and all that moves and walks on the earth. And much blood was shed on the earth, and every imagination and desire of men imagined vanity and evil continually.
Right.
And Yah destroyed everything from off the face of the earth because of the wickedness of their deeds, and because of the blood which they had shed in the midst of the earth. He destroyed everything, and we were left, I and you and my sons, and everything that entered with us into the ark. And behold, I see your works before me, that ye do not walk in righteousness.
Ah, see that? Do not walk in righteousness, right? Okay. For
in the path of destruction you have begun to walk, and ye are parting one from another,
right,
and are envious one of another.
Right.
And so it comes that ye are not in harmony, my sons, with his brother,
Right.
each with his brother.
right,
For I see and behold, the demons have begun their seductions against you and against your children. And now I fear on your behalf that after my death ye will shed the blood of men upon the earth, and that ye too will be destroyed from the face of the earth.
right,
For whoso sheddeth man's blood, and whoso eateth the blood of any flesh, will all be destroyed from the earth.
right,
And there will not be left any man that eateth blood, or that sheddeth the blood of man on the earth, nor will there be left to him any seed or descendants living under the heaven. For into Sheol will they go, and into the place of condemnation will they descend, and into the darkness of the deep will they all be removed by a violent death. There shall be no blood seen upon you of all the blood. There shall be all the days in which ye have killed any beast or cattle or whatever flies upon the earth. And work ye a good work to your souls by covering that which has been shed on the face of the earth. And ye shall not be like him who eats with blood, but guard yourselves that none may eat blood before you. Cover the blood, for thus have I been commanded to testify to you and your children together with all flesh. And suffer not the soul to be eaten with the flesh, that your blood which is in your life may not be required at the hand of any flesh that sheds it on the earth. For the earth will not be clean from the blood which has been shed upon it, for only through the blood of him that shed it will the earth be purified throughout all its generations. And now, my children, hearken, work judgment and righteousness, that ye may be planted in righteousness over the face of the whole earth, and your kabod lifted up before my Elohim, who saved me from the waters of the flood. And behold, ye will go and build for yourselves cities, and plant in them all the plants that are upon the earth, and moreover all fruit-bearing trees. For 3 years the fruit of everything that is eaten will not be gathered, and in the 4th year its fruit will be accounted Kodesh, and they will offer the first fruits acceptable before the Most High Yah, who created heaven and earth and all things. Let them offer in abundance the first of the wine and oil, first fruits on the altar of Yah, who receives it, and what is left let the servants of the house of Yah eat before the altar which receives. And in the 5th year make ye the release, so that ye release it in righteousness and uprightness, and ye shall be righteous, and all that you plant will prosper. For thus did Enoch, the father of your father, command Methuselah his son, and Methuselah his son Lamech, and Lamech commanded me all the things which his fathers commanded him. And I also will give you commandment, my sons, as Enoch commanded his son in the first jubilees while still living. The 7th in his generation he commanded and testified to his son and to his son's sons until the day of his death.
Okay, man, said a lot there. So he said, Enoch, the father of your father, commanded Methuselah his son, and Methuselah his son Lamech. Lamech commanded all things which the Father commanded, and I will give you commandments, my sons. So Noah gave all his sons, right? He gave his 3 sons the commandments. Now, Brother David must be a Christian, because we're not in the New Testament, the New Covenant, Brother David. You've been sold a lie. You've been sold a great big lie. Right? You've been sold a lie. We're not in the New Covenant. We got some Hebrews that believe that, right? You've been sold a great big lie. Big old lie. Wait a minute. If we are in the renewed covenant, we in pitiful shape, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
We just came through a global pandemic. How renewed is that? Many people have died, many sorrows in the earth, right? In the new covenant, Revelation talks about he's I'll wipe away their tears from their eyes. Right? Has that happened?
Mm-mm.
So, Brother David, right?
You're going to learn today.
Stick around. You're going to learn. Right? You're going to learn today, brother. And during the kingdom, you stick around, Brother David. If you be one of those that are chosen, you're going to teach the commandments in the kingdom age. And if you're not one of the teachers, you're going to be required to follow the laws of Yah in the kingdom age. So keep living and keep thinking, keep talking out the side of your mouth that we in the New Testament and all of that has ended. That's what's gotten us into to where we are today. The Republicans and the Democrats at war with each other. But yet both Christians. Republicans say, especially the MAGA people say, oh, them Democrats are not, they Democrats. But you say we're the New Testament, we're the New Covenant. And Christians can't get along. An interesting thing, I made a comment on my TikTok, I think it was. In one church, you got Republicans and Democrats. So I guess the Democratic part of your church is not saved. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life, right? All right. So Noah taught Noah, the priest of Yah, because he found favor with Yah. What was the favor he found? He was obeying the laws of Yah. All of the things that Yah taught Adam, passed down through the other sons. Noah embraced it. His father was taught it, but he kind of was he was like a part-time lover, right? Part of him wanted to do, another part was, that law. It's not like some Hebrews today. I keep part of the laws, 10 Commandments, but the other thing, I ain't gonna keep them. It's hard. Jesus is, well, we speak English, so I'm gonna hold on to Jesus. Oh my goodness, boy, I'm telling you. All right, so we see, Noah, it said Enoch was taught by his father. Enoch taught Methuselah, Methuselah taught Lamech, Lamech taught Noah, and Noah taught his sons, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. So let's see what happened here, all right? And so you read this part here, while still living in the seventh generation, he commanded to testify his son and his son's sons until the day of his death. So Noah taught them all the law until the day of his death. Now let's go to the next part here, right? We got to prepare you to get you up to Abraham, okay? All right, let's go.
In the 29th Jubilee, in the first week, in the beginning thereof, Apakshad took to himself a wife, and her name was Razuijah, the daughter of Susan, the daughter of Elam, and she bare him a son in the 3rd year, in this week, and he called his name Canaan. Mm-hmm. And the son grew, and his father taught him writing, and he went to seek for himself a place where he might seize for himself a city. Mm-hmm. And he found a writing which former generations had carved on the rock, and he read what was thereon, and
he read from something that's carved on a rock. What did he read? All right.
He transcribed it and sent owing to it, for it contained the teaching of the watchers in accordance with which they used to observe the omens of the sun and moon and stars and all the signs of heaven.
Wow. What you got to say about that, huh? What you got to say about that? So the wicked that was killed, that rejected the priesthood, the dominion that Adam was taught that the sons should have over the earth, that they were not to kill each other at this particular juncture, but they were to dominate the earth. They rejected that, and they wanted to follow after Hasatan, Satan, the devil, Lucifer, whoever, whatever name you choose to call him. He's the one that got the many names, right? The Lord, okay? They wanted to follow after him. And then they started following after the powers of darkness, and they scribed on stones. That's where you get a lot of that stone stuff from. They inscribed on stones the doctrine of the Watchers. All right. Some of that landed in Kemet, Mizraim, Egypt. Some of it landed in Babylon, right? The two Babylons. That's where you get your Christmas from. The brother, bless you. The brother that did the video. You need some heat, don't you? She's scared to say yeah, she can get blown out. All right. Okay, let's continue to read. Then I'll get you some heat. Go ahead.
And he wrote it down and said nothing regarding it, for he was afraid to speak to Noah about it, lest he should be angry with him on account of it. And in the 30th Jubilee, in the second week of the first year, 1429 a.m., thereof he took to himself a wife, and her name was Milcah, the daughter of Madai, the son of Japheth. And in the 4th year he begat a son, and called his name Shelah. For 1432 a.m. he said, truly I have been sent. And in the 4th year he was born. And Shelah grew up and took to himself a wife, and her name was Muach, the daughter of Kesed, his father's brother, in the 130th Jubilee, in the 5th 1499 a.m. week, in the 1st year thereof. And she bare him a son in the 5th year thereof, and he called his name Eber. And he took unto himself a wife, and her name was Azurat, the 1503 a.m. daughter of Nabrod, in the 32nd Jubilee, in the 7th week, in the 3rd year thereof. And in the 6th year thereof she bare him a son, and called his name Peleg. For in the days when he was born, the children of Noah began to divide the earth amongst themselves. For this reason he called his name Peleg. And they divided it secretly amongst themselves, and told it to Noah. And it came to pass in the beginning of the 33rd Jubilee that they divided the earth into 3 parts, for Shem and Ham and Japheth, according to the inheritance of each, in the 1st year of the 1st week, which one of us who had been sent was with them. And he called his sons, and they drew nigh to him, they and their children. And he divided the earth into the lots, which his 3 sons were to take in possession. And they reached forth their hands, and took the writing out of the bosom of Noah their father. And there came forth on the writing as Shem's lot, the middle of the earth, which he should take as an inheritance for himself and for his sons, for the generations of eternity, from the middle of the mountain range of Rapha, from the mouth of the water, from the river Tina, and from his portion goes toward the west through the midst of this river, and it extends till it reaches the water of the abysses, out of which this river goes forth to pours its waters into the sea Miat. And this river flows into the great sea, and all that is towards the north is Japheth's, and all that is toward the south belongs to Shem. And it extends till it reaches Carasso. This is in the bosom of the tongue which looks toward the south. And this portion extends along the Great Sea, and it extends in a straight line till it reaches the west of the tongue which looks towards the south. For this sea is named the tongue of the Egyptian Sea, and it turns from here towards the south, towards the mouth of the Great Sea, on the shore of its waters, and it extends to the west of Afra, and it extends till it reaches the waters of the river Gihon, and to the south of the waters of Gihon, to the banks of this river. And it extends toward the east till it reaches the Garden of Eden, and to the south thereof, and to the south and from the east of the whole land of Eden, and to the whole east it turns to the east and proceeds till it reaches the east of the mountain named Rapha, and it descends to the bank of the mouth of the river Tina. This portion came forth by lot for Shem and for his sons, and that they should possess it forever unto his generations forevermore. And Noah rejoiced that this portion came forth for Shem and for his sons, and he remembered all that he had spoken with his mouth in prophecy, and he had said, Blessed be the Elohim of Shem, and may Yah dwell in the dwelling of Shem. And he knew that the Garden of Eden in the Kodesh of Kodeshes, and the dwelling of Yah, and Mount Sinai, the center of the desert, and Mount Zion, the center of the navel of the earth. These three were created as Kodesh places facing each other. And he blessed the Elohim of Els, who had put the word of Yah into his mouth, and Yah forevermore. And he knew that blessed portion and a blessing had come to Shem and his sons unto the generations forever. The whole land of Eden, and the whole land of the Red Sea, the whole land of the east and India, and on the Red Sea and the mountains thereof, and all the land of Bashan, and all the land of Lebanon, and all the islands of Caphtor, and all the mountains of Sinir and Amana, and the mountains of Asher in the north, and all the land of Elam, Asher, and Babel, and Suzan, and Madai, and all the mountains of Ararat, and all the region beyond, and the sea which is beyond the mountains of Asher towards the north, a blessed and spacious land, and all that is in it is very good.
Okay, stop for a second. All right, give you a little break, because you went on reading. You like reading, I see. I didn't want you to read all that, but you was in you was in a roll.
I thought you would have.
But well, it's good. I mean, it's good reading. I mean, a lot of people never read this stuff, so it's first time some people seeing it. So it's good that they see this, right? I read these books all the time, so it's like repetition for me. Now, what I want to bring out was Arphaxad. We talked about that. Where was that at when he saw the stone, right? Saw the writing of the stone. And he hid secretly, right? So was it Arphaxad? It was Arphaxad, wasn't it? Okay. You know what?
Yeah, go back a couple.
I'll come back to that. Let's just continue. I'll take a read. And for Ham came forth the second portion of Gihon towards the south to the right of the garden. And it extends towards the south, and it extends to all the mountains of fire, and it extends towards the west of the sea of Atel, and it extends towards the west till it reaches the sea of Ma'uk, that sea into which everything which is not destroyed descends. And it goes for, I don't want to get too real deep in this, because this is a class of its own right here, talking about these lands and these rivers and stuff like that. That's a college course that it might take us a year to even just deal with these lands, right? So I'm not even going to touch it, right? Okay. And it goes forth towards the south to the limits of Gadir, and goes forth to the coast of the waters of the sea, to the waters of the great sea, till it draws near to the river Gihon, and goes along the river of Gihon till it reaches to the right of the Garden of Eden. And this is the land which came forth for Ham as the portion which he was to occupy forever for himself and his sons into their generations forever. And Japheth came forth third portion beyond the river of Tina to the north of the outflow of his waters, and is extended northeasterly towards the whole region of Gog. Underline that. And to all the country east thereof. And it extends northerly to the north and extends to the mountains of Celt. There goes your Celt. Your Irish, your Celts. Towards the north, right? Underline that. All this has weight to it, right? We're not going to deal with it today. We're not going to deal with the nation, the sons of nations. That's a whole nother lesson for a whole nother day. Celt towards the north and towards the sea of Ma'uk. And it goes forth to the east of Gadir. Now, I believe that Ma'uk is the Mediterranean Sea that they call it now. Okay. It extends until it approaches to the west of Farah, and it returns towards Afarag. Okay, so Afarag, I guess is another way of saying Africa again. And it extends easterly to the waters of the Sea of Mi'at. Right? Okay. And so maybe Ma'uk, I think Mi'at might be Mediterranean. I think Ma'uk might be the Red Sea. Don't quote me on that though. Okay. And it extends to the region of the river Tina in the northeasterly direction until it approaches the boundary of his waters towards the mountain of Rapha, and it turns around towards the north. This is the land which came forth for Japheth and his sons as a portion of his inheritance, which he should possess for himself and his sons and for their generations forever, 5 great islands and great lands in the north. Okay, now let me just say this here real quick while I'm thinking about it. So the European stock, their land is not the Middle East. Okay, the Europeans come from Japheth, and we just read it. All your Celts, your Gauls, your Gog, right? Germans, right? Irish, British, all of them, right? Ashkenaz, they didn't come from, the land wasn't given to them what is in the middle of the earth. That's what Jubilee said. So how did they get it? Right? And they're not Esau. They are, just like the book says, Japheth shall enlarge, right? And shall dwell in the tents of Shem. That's exactly what it means. It don't mean that Japheth is living next door to Hebrew Israelites, like some camps teach. It means just what it said. They are dwelling in the tents that belong to Shem. They got it through war, and that's how they ended up there. And that's what the gospel truth is, okay? Now, so Japheth land is where it's cold. We're going to go back and read that. Okay, Jubilees, this is chapter, this is verse 30. This is chapter, what chapter was this? Chapter 8, okay? But it is cold, and the land of Ham is hot, and the land of Shem is neither hot nor cold, but it is a blend of cold and heat, right? Now, boom, little nugget I'm throwing here. Give me a second. All right. So, if the land of Shem, it has a blend of cold and heat, please tell me, how was the Messiah born in December in a manger? For the brother that post that video that the Christians celebrated the birth of the Messiah in the coldest month of the year. How logical is that at all? For a mother, you a mother, to have a baby outside in December in the cold. How possible is that? And live. And the child live. Nobody, and not even have a bed to even, but in a manger. I'm telling you, brothers and sisters. Wait a minute.
You've been had.
All right. That's all I'm gonna say. You've had to believe that, right? But yet we haters, and we, what do you call, the Grinch? You the Grinch that stole Christmas and all of that, and you in the cult and all kind of stuff like that. But your logic makes no sense at all. Okay. Okay. So where I leave off at? Okay, it's hot and cold. Okay, it's neither blend of. Okay, now, what am I here? Okay, here we go. And hand divided amongst his sons. The first portion came, right, forth to Cush, towards the east. And wait a minute, hold on. How is he portion? See, this is we miss so much by not reading. Cush land towards the east. So how is Cush land towards the east if Cush land isn't Ethiopia west? Isn't Ethiopia west of the garden? So in the doctrine that teaches that Israel is in Africa, that makes no sense, because if Cush land went towards the east from the garden, is all of that region that we that is in the middle of the earth. The Chaldees is included in that, where Abraham came from, right? So now look what it says here, right? It says, the portion came forth for Cush towards the east, and to the west for him for Mizraim, and to the west of him for Put, and to the west of him and to the west thereof on the sea of Canaan, right? Okay. Now, somebody might say, well, brother, you read that wrong. That's not saying the east. It's talking about the east of a particular territory. Okay, I'll give that to you. Okay. But if we continue, we'll see that Cush's territory included the Mesopotamia. Okay. We might read it before we close out. Okay, let's continue. Cush towards the east and towards the west from Mizraim. Okay, and Shem also divided among his sons. The first portion came to Elam, his son, to the east of the river of Tigris, till it approaches the east of the whole land of India, and on the Red Sea on its coast, and the waters of Dedan, and all the mountains of Mebri and Elah, and all the land of Suzan, and all that is on the side of Farnak, to the Red Sea and the river Tina. And for Asher came forth the second portion, all the land of Asher and Nineveh. So we're talking about, these are Shemitic lands, right? So whenever you hear people talking about anti-Shemitic, and they're only talking about one particular people who's supposed to be the people, but you anti-Semitic if you speak against them, what about the other sons? I'm saying, right? To be anti-Semitic means you anti all the sons that came from Shem. Not just one specific people that you have taught us that came from Shem, who in fact came from Ashkenaz, who came from Gomer. But you want us to only focus in on your narrative, and that is not accurate historically, prophetically, and scripturally. Okay. Did I get an explosion on that one? All right. That's not hatred. That's truth, right? All right. Now, go back in. And for Asher came forth the second portion, all the land of Asher and Nineveh, and Shinar, and the border of India, and it sends and skirts the river. And Arphaxad came forth the third portion of all the land of region of Chaldees to the east of Euphrates, bordering the Red Sea, and all the waters of the desert close to the tongue of the sea, which looks towards Egypt, all the land of Lebanon, and Sinir, and Ammana, to the border of Euphrates. And for Aram there came forth the fourth portion of the land of Mesopotamia between Tigris and Euphrates to the north of Chaldees, to the border of the mountains of Asher and the land of Ara. So you got here mountains, brothers and sisters, in the land of Shem. So this doctrine about Esau dwelling in caves, the caves are in the land of Shem. You don't have to go to the Caucasus Mountains. They want to make the mountains that Esau lived in the Caucasus Mountains. That's the dumbest doctrine anybody ever created. Got mountains all in the land of Shem. We just read about it right here. So you have mountains in the south, right? Where the land that Esau, Idumea, right? Where he went to dwell. I'll give you a nugget. Part of Esau is in Saudi Arabia. Part of Esau crossed over and entered into Africa. In South Africa, the people that we call Limit just might be Edomites, converted Edomites. Y'all ain't gonna talk to me. The Igbo tribes, the one that we call the chosen, the descendants of the Hebrews, they just might be Edomites. I'm giving you a little hint. Free of charge. Okay? The people that live in North Africa that are called Arabs, right? That are black Arabs, they just might be Edomites. Right? According to history, Esau went and intermingled and intermarried with the Phoenicians and Canaanites, and they went all over the planet. Some of them end up in North America. They just might be Edomites. As a matter of fact, it's the book by R.B. Lewis? The Light. What's the book called? Oh. R.B. Lewis. It's called The Light. Light's in the title of the book. I'm trying to think of the full title of the book. He says that the natives in America, the native Indians, are Edomites. He said it. The same book that Bishop Nathaniel quotes from, the writer R.B. Lewis says that Esau is the native Indians, not Israelites. So how do you figure that they are a one specific tribe of Israel when the man who wrote the book that you quote from said that they were Edomites? But y'all ain't gonna talk to me. You gonna buy my book? I'm gonna break it down. All right, I gave you some free stuff right there. Like to the Gentile, I gave you some ammo right there. Free of charge, right? Okay, now, where was I at? So, the Red Sea, give you a little nugget, give you another little free nugget here. The Red Sea is called Red Sea because of Esau. Eritrea Sea called Red Sea because of Esau, right? Why do you think it's called Red Sea? They dominated the trade with the Phoenicians. They became known as the Eritrean people, right? Right. That's correct. Brother says there's a tribe in Nigeria called Idoma. You better know it. See, y'all looking at the wrong people, calling them Esau when they're actually Gentile. You fat. You mad at them when you should be looking at the people that you moving over to Africa to be with that are just might be your brother Esau that got hatred, the one that sold you into slavery. Y'all ain't gonna talk to me. Right?
What you bringing to the table, brother?
All right, let's get back in here now. I done went way out there. Give away too much stuff for free. Let's get it back in here. Okay, and so it says, so there you go. There goes your Lebanon right there, right? And Sinir and Amana and the border of Euphrates. And for Aram, there came forth a fourth portion of all the land of Mesopotamia between Tigris and Euphrates to the north of Chaldees, to the border of the mountains of Shur and the land of Ara. Okay, and there came forth for Lud the fifth portion of the mountains of Shur, all the appertaining to them till it reaches the great sea, until it reaches the east of Ashur, his brother, or Asher. And Japheth also divided the land of his inheritance among his sons. First portion came forth to who? Gomer, to the east from the north side of the river Tina, And to the north there came forth for who? Magog. So, look, religious people want us to think Magog is some mysterious nation to the north. Wait a minute.
You've been had.
And Tim LaHaye and what's the guy named John Hagee and Jack Van Pimp. I had all their books and they had us all fooled, right? But you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time, right? All right. We know who Gog is, right? The people that have stolen your identity are Gog. Uh-oh. They're not Esau. Ham and God, right? Let me get back because I done went way out there. I'm not supposed to be going that direction. Okay. So it says they came forth from Magog all the inner portions of the north until it reaches the sea of Meat. And for Madai came forth his portion that he should possess from the west of his two brothers to the islands and to the coast of the island. And for Yavon came forth the fourth portion, every island and the islands which are towards the border of Lud. And for Tubal there came forth the fifth portion in the midst of the tongue which approaches toward the border of the portions of Lud to the second tongue and to the region beyond the second tongue and to the third tongue. And for Meshach came forth the sixth portion, all the regions beyond the third tongue, till it approaches the east of Gadir. And for Tyrus, there goes your Tyrus, there came forth the seventh portion for great islands in the midst of the sea, which reached the portion of Ham and the islands of Kamaturi. So, and by lot for the sons of Arphaxad as his inheritance. So now, just want to say, give you a little knowledge here. It was Tyre who trade with the Phoenicians, the Canaanites, right? Who was responsible for the ships of Chittim that later became the ships of Spain that did what? Disperse the children of Israel to the four corners. Mm-hmm. These are the four horns, right? That scattered Yehuda and Jerusalem to the four corners. It's always been there. All right, let's go back in now. All right, my brother, good to see you. Be blessed, Brother Dollars. And the Tyrus there came for seven portion, 4 islands, and carry that part there. Thus the sons of Noah divided unto their sons the presence of Noah their father, and he bound them all by oath. He bound them all by oath.
Implicating.
Thank you. A curse on everyone that sought to seize the portion which had not fallen to him by lot. Right? And they all said, so be it for themselves and their sons forever throughout their generation till the day of judgment, on which Yah shall judge them with the sword and with fire for all the unclean wickedness of their errors, wherewith they have filled the earth with transgression and uncleanness and fornication and sin. Right? And in the third week of the Jubilee, the unclean demons began to lead astray the children of the sons of Noah, and to make them err and destroy them. So who was the ones responsible? He says the unclean, the children of the sons. Wait a minute, hold on. The unclean demons began to lead astray the children of sons. Who are the unclean demons? The unclean demons, right, would have to be the sons that followed. That's why I was trying to find that. Who was it? That saw the teaching of the watchers, mm-hmm. and rolled on the stones and kept it secretly. So those sons that followed that watcher's doctrine are the ones he's talking about here. Okay, let's continue. So they began to lead astray the children of the sons of Noah, and to make error to destroy them. And the sons of Noah came to Noah their father, and they told him concerning the demons which were leading astray and blinding and slaying his sons. He prayed before Yah, and Yah said, he said, Yah spirits of all flesh who has shown mercy. I'll come and skip the prayer there. Let's go down. He says, but thou bless me, my sons, that we may increase and multiply and replenish the earth. And thou knowest how the watchers, the fathers of these spirits, right, acted in my day. As for these spirits which are living, imprison them and hold them fast in the place of condemnation, and let them not bring destruction on the sons of thy servants, my Elohim. For these are the malignant and created in order to destroy. And let them not rule over the spirits of the living, for thou alone can exercise dominion over them. Okay? And let them not have power over the sons of the righteous from henceforth and forevermore. And Yah, our Elohim, bade us to bind all. And the chief, the spirits of Matima, came and said, Master Creator, let some of them remain before me. And let them hearken to my voice and do all that I shall say unto them. For if some of them are not left to me, I shall not be able to do what? To execute power of my will on the sons of men. For these are for corruption and leading astray before my judgments. And for great is the wickedness of the sons of men. Okay. Now, I want to skip down to, as we wrap this up here. It's a lot of reading here. I'm not going to read all this here. We know about the spirits of the wicked. Okay. I want to get to, let's read this part right here, 13. Noah wrote down all things in a book as we instructed him concerning every kind of medicine. Thus, the evil spirits were precluded from hurting the sons of Noah. And he gave all that he had written to Shem. There it is. His eldest son, for he loved him exceedingly above all his sons. So Noah gave it to Shem, right? And Noah slept with his fathers, was buried in Mount Lubar in the land of Arad. In 950 years, he completed his life in 19 jubilees and 2 weeks and 5 years. And in his life on the earth, excelled the children of men, save Enoch, because of the righteousness wherewith he was perfect. For Enoch's office was ordained for testimony to the generation of the world, so that he should recount all the deeds of generation to the day of judgment. Okay, now, interesting, right? We just read here that Noah gave everything he had to Shem, right? His oldest son. So Jubilee says that Shem is the oldest son. Okay. I think another writing says that Japheth was the oldest son. I think they threw a Mickey in the drink there on that one. So he gave it to Shem, right? I want to skip down to, let's see, hold on. There's a lot of reading here, brothers. Y'all need to read this in your free time. Okay. But this is the part I want to get to right here. Okay. In the fourth week, it's 27. In the fourth week, let's highlight this here so for future reference. Okay. In the fourth week of the first year, the beginning thereof, in the fourth and 30th jubilee, there were dispersed from the land of Shinar. And Ham, his sons, went into the land which he was to occupy, which he acquired as his portion, and the land of the south. And Canaan saw the land of Lebanon. There goes your Lebanon, to the river of Egypt, that was very good. So here's the question I gotta ask. Is this the same Lebanon today? It's in the news. Answer is yes. So if Canaan, right, saw the land of Lebanon to the river of Egypt is good, and he went not to the land of his inheritance to the west, that is to the sea, He dwelt in the land. He dwelt in the land. He dwelt in the land of Lebanon, eastward and westward from the border of Jordan, and highlight, and from the border of the sea. So my question is, if Canaan was a Hamitic descendant, according to Zondervan, Canaan was the son of Ham, who was the father of dark races of people. How did Lebanese people look like they look today? Inquiring minds want to know. If you know history, you know how they end up like that. You do know that the Lebanese that are there today are not the Lebanese of this day. So I would submit to you that those Lebanese that are there in the land today are Japhetic, not Hamitic. Right? Because it says, Japheth shall dwell in the tents of Shem, right? So with that being said, they got to be Japheth, right? And not Shem. Right? All right. So Canaan saw the land, and he went and he moved into that land. Now, going here, it says here, Ham the father of Cush, Mizraim, his brother said unto him, Thou hast settled in a land which is not yours, and which did not fall to us by lot. Do not do so, for if thou doest do so, thou and thy sons will fall in the land and be accursed. There goes the beginning of a Canaanite curse. Through sedition, for by sedition you have settled, by sedition will thy children fall, and thou shalt be rooted out forever. Okay, so which explains why the Phoenicians were a migrant people. They went all over the globe. They were the ones that had the ships that Tarshish got. They're the ones that got the ships, right? That's how your ancestors got into America, right? It was the Edomites intermingling with the Canaanite Phoenician people that was conquered by the Spaniards, that empowered them, enabled them to get those ships, to do the ships of Tarshish, to bring our sons and daughters into captivity, which the same ships of Tarshish are going to bring the sons and daughters from afar back to the land in the second Exodus. All right. Okay. So now, in knowing about the priesthood, you got to comprehend that the priesthood is where now? Scattered among the nations. So we have to awaken to our call in the nations where we're scattered, so we can usher in the second Exodus. That's your 144,000, your remnant or your select of the house of Israel. Okay? That's what it is. Okay? Now let's kind of wrap it up for the last time here. So let's see. Let's get down to a closing point here. So he told him, he said, curse through sedition, for by sedition you have settled, and by sedition will thy children fall, and thou shalt be rooted out forevermore. Dwell not in the dwelling of Shem, for to Shem and to his sons did it come by lot. Cursed art thou, and cursed shalt thou be beyond all the sons of Noah, by curse by which we bound ourselves by an oath in the presence of the Kodesh judge, and in the presence of Noah our father. But he did not hearken to them, and dwelt in the land of Lebanon from Hamath to the entering of Egypt. Why is Hamath important? Right? Because the king of Assyria brought men from Hamath to Israel. Okay? Lebanon from Hamath to entering in of Egypt. So Hamath is talking about in 2 Kings chapter 17. That's where Hamath, Kuthath, and Ava, and Babylon, right? To the entering of Egypt, he and his sons until this day. And for this reason, the land is named Canaan, right? And Japheth and his sons went towards the sea and dwelt in the land of their portion. And Madai saw the land of the sea, and it did not please him. And he begged a portion from Elam. So that's where you get your Medes. Madai is the father of the Medes. So how did the Medes get into Media, Persia? Right? Because he begged a portion from Elam, which is the land of Shinar, which is where Abraham came from, Ur of the Chaldees, that whole region, right? Just east of that. The Elam was east of the Ur of the Chaldees, okay? Elam and Asher and Arphaxad, his wife's brother. And he dwelt in the land of Media, near his wife's brother until this day. So that's how you get your Japheth, right? Into the land of Shem. He was the entryway to that. So he helped to fulfill the prophecy of Yah shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem. He helped to do that because it was when the Medes overthrew the Babylonians and you had your Neo-Babylonian Empire. That was then when this fulfillment of prophecy of Japheth dwelling in the tents of Shem began. And then it trickled into the Greeks. It trickled into the Romans, right? It trickled into the Persians, right? Right? All right. So all of those sons of Japheth end up fulfilling prophecy, dwelling in the tents of Shem, while the priest who was called to be the priest was cast out. Okay. Let's see. So we're going to get to the introduction, right? We're going to skip past this. Let's go and see where we at. Starting at 15. This is some good reading. I hate to skip past all this read. We can read it off the stream, but this is some good stuff here. You're talking about Ru and son of Kesed and all of that, and the sons of Noah began to war with each other and to take captives and to slay each other and to shed blood of men of the earth and the blood of building strong cities and walls and towers, and individuals began to exalt themselves above nations and found beginnings of kingdoms and go to war, people against people, nations against nations. The city began to do evil and acquire arms and to teach the sons war, and they began to capture cities and sell male and female slaves. Son of Kesed, built the city of Erah and the Chaldees and called his name after his own name and name after the father. So that what? That was the doctrine of the Watchers. That bloodshed came from the doctrine of the Watchers, right? So the nations today, the Japhetic nation that's running today, are operating under the doctrine of the Watchers through world war. Through national war against war, rumors of war, nations against nations, and kingdoms against kingdoms, right? That's part of the Watchers, the Nephilim doctrine, right? All right. Now, so going forward to lead us up to Abraham. So all this lead us to Abraham's time, right? So all this warfare going on, wickedness going on. Abraham's now down in the land where all that stuff was going on. So down at 15, right? We're gonna skip past Nahor. Okay, that's chapter 2. Okay, was it 15? I said 15. Okay. Let's see. In the 17th year of this week, she bore him a son and called his name Abram. Let me back up a second. Let's go back a little bit, just a little bit, to get us where we need to be. Okay. The prince of Matsema sent ravens and birds to devour the seed which was sown in the land in order to destroy the land, and rob the children of men of their labors. Before they could put plow in the seeds, the ravens picked it from the surface of the ground. And for this reason, he called his name Terah, because the ravens and the birds reduced them to destitution and devoured their seeds. And the years began to be barren owing to the birds, and they devoured all the fruit of the trees from the tree. It was only with great effort that they could save little of all the fruits of the earth in their days. And in this 39th Jubilee, the second week in the first year, Terah took him a wife. Her name was Edna, right? The daughter of Abram, the daughter of his father's sister. Okay. And in the 7th year of this week, she bore him a son and called his name Abram by the name of the father of his mother, for he had died before his daughter had conceived a son. And the child began to comprehend the errors of the earth, right? Let me before I continue reading that, there's so much stuff, good stuff we just missing. I'm just reading past. But we look at these ravens, right? That's a foreshadow of what Abraham saw when he offered sacrifice and he saw the birds. Okay, so I'm not gonna get into that because that'll add another 20 minutes to this. I'm trying to wrap it up, but go back and read that. Okay, now go back and read that and compare that with the story of Abraham's vision. No, for surely just your seed shall be a stranger in the land that's not theirs and shall afflict them 400 years, right? Compare that to that. Okay, now going forward. So it says the child began to comprehend errors of the earth, that all went astray after graven images and after uncleanness, and his father taught him writing, and he was 2 years old, and he separated himself from his father that he might not worship idols with him. And he began to pray to the Creator of all things that he might save him from the errors of the children of men, that his portion should not fall into error after uncleanness or violence. And the seed time came for the sowing of seed upon the land, and they all went forth together to protect their seeds against the ravens. And Abram went forth with those that went, and the child was lad of 14 years, and a cloud of ravens came to devour the seed, and Abram ran to meet them before they settled on the ground, and cried to them before they settled on the ground to devour the seed, and said, Descend not, return to the place whence you came. And they proceeded to turn back. And he caused the clouds of ravens to turn back that day 70 times. And all the ravens throughout all the land where Abram was, there settled there so much as one. And all who were with him throughout all the land saw him cry out, and all the ravens turned back, and his name became great in all the land of the Chaldees, right? So you see, this is his foreshadow, right? And there came to him this year all those that wished to sow, and he went with them until the time of sowing season. They sowed their land, and that year they brought enough grain home and eat and were satisfied. And in the first year of the first week of Abram taught those who made implements for oxen, the artificers in wood, and they made a vessel above the ground facing the frame of the plow in order to put seed thereupon. And the seed fell down therefrom from the share of the plow and was hidden in the earth, and they no longer feared the ravens, right? This is a good place to stop right here. So I'm going to stop right there. Okay. Woo! So as we close and as we recap, okay, so we see Noah. Noah was the son of Lamech, who was taught by Methuselah the righteous ways. Noah, the earth was destroyed through the flood. Noah, the priest of Yah, taught his sons Ham, Shem, and Japheth to be priests of Yah, and they were in fact priests. Japheth, Shem, and Ham, all three were priests. Ham got wicked and disrespected his father, which brought forth the curse of his seed Canaan, who took the land and were cursed by Yah to be wanderers. who end up traveling around the globe, setting up forts, right? Then you have, was it Arphaxad, who found the stone of the doctrine of the Watchers, and then that began to be the beginning of the fall of the whole total priesthood order after the flood, okay? Which led us to Abram, right? And his vision of the ravens and him being empowered to cast out the devils, the ravens, okay? That came down upon the seed. All right? So, any questions, comments after that? Anything you want to say? We're going to continue next Shabbat with Abraham. We might back up a little bit and read some more of that. And we're going to go to another level with this teaching. Okay? So let's see. I'll look at the comments offline, the additional comments that came in. So let's wrap it up here. Father, we thank and praise you for allowing us this opportunity to share at this time. You give you praise now for all those that came to join in with us on this Shabbat and those that will come later on. We ask the peace that passes all comprehension, keep our hearts and minds through Yahshua the Messiah until we meet again at the appointed time. We say hallelujah.
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 Toda Yah.
Toda Yah.
Amen. Brothers and sisters, love with the love of Yah. And we'll see you again at the appointed time. Shalom, shalom, shalom.